demi-plane.
Yeah. You guys are going to ambush them as they're coming back to Snakeblade because they're all leaving it.
Yeah.
And you're just
Yep.
like, all right, we're just gonna harry them the whole way.
Sounds fun.
I think I heard Derek said he was running over to get something and grab something or something, but we'll get started here in a couple minutes. I'll do a quick recap of what happened last time.
I gotta make coffee. Dude, I bought an Xbox controller only to be disappointed.
Uh-oh.
Because you also need to buy an Xbox?
No, because you have to put batteries in it and it doesn't charge batteries. Like, why does the PlayStation controller not need batteries, charges its own battery, has a touchpad, which is amazing.
To be fair,
I will fully admit I'm an Xbox player. Completely Xbox. Don't like PlayStation, but their controller is better.
Yeah.
So my thing is if they made it to where the Xbox controller was the way the PlayStation controller, like all the additional shit the PlayStation controller has, but the ergonomics of the Xbox controller would be a perfect controller. Because I don't like the joysticks in the middle, like both middle joysticks. Yeah. I like having it where it's slightly off.
I like that too, actually.
But if PlayStation or Xbox made a controller where it had all the same features as PlayStation's controller, that'd be set. I know their controller's better. It has a lot of other stuff to it too.
That's why I use a wired one for my PC. Because I'm like, I don't need a wireless one.
I play Xbox, so what I did,
batteries and a recharger for them.
Yeah, that's what my brother does too for his.
I have battery packs. They're Xbox battery packs, so I rotate one lasts like 3 days, and then I put it on the charger and put the other one in.
The other thing, actually, though, to long term, if a PlayStation's battery starts like dying out because it's too old, it just doesn't hold charge anymore. It's a lot harder to replace them than it is to just get a new set of batteries for an Xbox. So long term, the Xbox controller.
Yeah, but if that happens, there's a good chance that your controller's wear and teared.
Yeah,
that's
might as well just get one too. Yeah.
Yeah, you start getting the thing where the joysticks start drifting or dumb things like that.
What's nice, there is Xbox controllers that you disassemble and like kind of change.
Oh yeah,
not like
individual parts.
Individual parts, more customized, like the sensitivity on stuff and stuff like that too. It's obviously the higher end ones, like the Elite controllers, Elites, but like those, my buddy has one. He bought it like 5 years ago, and he's never turned it in because he just takes it apart and puts new shit in it.
Yeah, I don't use my PlayStation very often, so it kind of. I have 2 controllers it came with. They're still running strong.
I'm just kind of stoked that I found something about Kinesis. They just added a bunch of elements to the Kinesis.
For the video game version, or?
No, for the actual Pathfinder. And it's a Pathfinder book.
First edition or second?
Let's see. So it's Kinesis. I'll just push up the link that way.
Huh.
But it's on Paizo, and like when you click on it for source material, it shows an actual Pathfinder book. Yeah.
I wonder if it's something that was, if it's new.
It's like the Ultimate Classes type thing.
Is it first or second edition?
Well, it's probably first edition. It sounds like. Is there even a Kineticist in second edition yet?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
If I copy tab, I'm not anything special on PC, so I'll get it. Actually, I could just do that. Copy. Foundry.
We talking about like the PRD or the SRD?
No, it's just the little Paizo like thing.
Like a new book or something?
Yeah, it's so the book. Let me click on the actual where it shows it. It
Cool.
is
I didn't know there
called
was more.
Ultimate Kinesis Compendium.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, and it's Pathfinder. They added. So I'll just read off the new ones that I ever saw, and it looks like they're still working on like combo. Like they haven't really done the like infusions where it's like multiple ones.
No, I think this is third party actually.
Is it?
Legendary Games. It's on the Paizo site though.
Yeah. Well, if it is, then I wouldn't use it. But it's just like there's some pretty cool ones. Light, like actual light, sound, time.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where you have to just look over
Yeah.
it and kind of
Make sure it's not overpowered.
because
Yeah.
I'm usually I know in my game I've let people run third party stuff. I'm actually okay with it
Yeah.
in my games.
What I
But,
saw is there's one that has time, and they actually did, or they made it to where it's not as strong. Like the blast is 1d4, or it's d4s instead of d6s.
But then they get some cool utility stuff.
Yeah,
Probably.
you can fire capable of firing that on.
Like slowing people down or something.
Yeah, and then there's one where it's like it's called Viscera is the helmet. You're basically shaping people like bones and shit, like shooting bones out of your body. And
I should host a game where the players cannot use any official source material.
Oh, you have to use third party. That might be kind of fun, actually. Get people trying new stuff that they probably haven't.
But they also put like a um readjusted some of the older elements too. Like they have air 2, like -2, earth -2, fire -2.
Huh.
Probably to, like make them a little bit either simpler or
I
like,
want to
tweak
say
something.
in the campaign that this is a sequel to, basically, one of Ron's characters was a third party like archetype for Magus. It was sort of like
Yeah.
basically it was like a spontaneous casting Magus that was a little different than the default like Eldritch Scion one. It was a little less clunky.
Yeah.
I don't think it got the
But
sorcerer bloodlines. I don't.
well, maybe like really interested in this kinesis thing is the light one, because I was like, dude, that goes so well with this character because I live off of light. So how I'd see it is like him gathering power is him like sucking and like standing in the sun and drawing
Yeah, because
power, like more power from it.
you were talking about multi-classing kineticists potentially. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if
Like,
that's something you want to do, like,
photosynthesis, solar beam is
um,
basically what I'm getting at.
yeah, no, that sounds cool. I'd probably want to take a look at the
Yeah.
kineticists, because she says
Mhm.
third party, but like I said, I'm usually down for third party stuff. I don't really have a problem with it. But I like I said, I like to look at it and make sure.
Yeah, I've 100%. I wouldn't expect anything less. It's just I was like, that'd be such a interesting like play on it, because like other ones, it's like they draw their power from like themselves, but like my character's based off of like that's how he sustains himself was sunlight, so it'd be kind of cool. And that's where like the burn, like he's basically taking burn through like using up his source of energy.
All right, ready to get started? I think.
Yep.
All right,
Yes.
so, the last session, um, I think it was you went back with Olhas back to the demiplane uh, where he was living with all his people there, and he was talking about like kind of doing a slow transition. Like he was like, I don't think we're ready for the outside world yet. But when you guys got back, well, you ran into a little bit of trouble on the way back, but not much. It was kind of just like some random elementals. But when you guys got there, there was some like activity in there. You guys kind of ran into some more of those Azers that were, and they were kind of like it looked like they kind of had come through that from that forge that you guys had kind of went and cleared out earlier. It's like some backup guys came in and they were um they kind of attacked you guys as you guys went into there, and you guys dealt with them, but it was like, well, this is going to be continue to be a problem if we don't go look into it. So you guys went and did that and found there was an efreet in the blacksmithing forge, and you guys kind of like talked with her, and she kind of, was like, well, I hope you don't find the guys that came in here and killed my men, wink wink, obviously it's you guys, but she was basically like will agree to like, avoid each other from now on.
Mm-hmm.
And but you guys at the same time, it was like, this probably long term, like we need to, it's probably not safe because it's all connected to the same, like through the same portals there. Um so you guys kind of decided, basically Olhas said, like, go ahead and just tell Casimir that we're gonna take him up on his offer, because Casimir was like saying maybe you guys should just move in here anyway. Like, he was all about that, but so Olhas is kind of, they're basically like fast tracking that plan, and he said, like, when you guys go back to just let Casimir know, like, to expect that we'll be showing up in the next couple days. Um, so yeah, he's gonna try to convince everybody to get out of there. So you guys went back to Snakeblade that night, and kind of where we left off was Goncool was back, and he didn't find anything about like Billy's curse yet, but he said he did find a lead, at least, for like Pedriarch basically. He thinks that he might be in um, Rahadum, which is a country to the south, just on the other side of the inner sea of Cheliax. It's like kind of connected on the same
Mm-hmm.
continent there of that Assyrians on. Um, Kind of the, I can't remember the name of it. It's Garund, I think, is the name of the continent. It's kind of on the north coast of that.
Yeah.
So he says, he is like, I can't really teleport us all there. For one thing, it's too many people, but for another thing, he's never actually been to um, Rahadum, or at least he hasn't been to the port that he wants to go to first. Uh,
Oh.
but he's hoping that you guys would go with him. So that
Yep.
we can. I think if I just go by myself, it's going to be slow going. But I have a few different leads I wanna look into.
I mean, if you need a friend, I'll entertain you.
Tactic? No, see why not.
And he said, and you guys already know from what Casimir told you before, the boat you guys came with, the Wanton Ways, has kind of been still here, getting like loaded up with goods to bring back to the mainland. So he says, I'm hoping to catch a ride with them and pay the captain of the Wanton Ways to um, slight detour over into the to the port city of Batasani in Rahadum, but we'll probably won't be leaving for a couple more days.
Okay.
Do you guys ask him anything else?
I don't think so. We just make sure we let everyone know that the Olhas and the others are moving into Snakeblade.
Okay. Yeah, and Casimir, about that, he says, like, he's like, good. I'm kind of glad it's working out this way. we should have places for everyone to stay. The crewmen from the Wanted Ways will be leaving in a couple days, so we should be able to house people there too until we get more permanent shelters built for them too. But yeah, he goes and gets basically goes starts and getting some of the people in the city of Snakeblade there like it's like evening right now, but he starts drawing up plans basically to start first thing tomorrow morning on like getting ready for them to arrive. Um, he's like, I think we're gonna have to order some extra supplies to come in on the next boat coming in too. So he goes out and starts working on that.
Cool,
Gonkul
cool.
also, so Gonkul was decided he wants to talk to you guys about going to Rahadum, and he asked like, do you guys know anything about Rahadum? Have any of you guys been there?
Nope.
Let me see.
Can roll knowledge local or knowledge geography, or even knowledge history to know about it. Any of those three:
Oh,
local, history, or geography.
Uh, no, I don't have any ranks.
well, actually,
I have nobility, arcana,
I
and
do know a bit about
diplomacy.
its history, perhaps.
I think knowledge nobility you could probably know a little bit about them, about like the government there maybe. Yeah, maybe not much. Shazra maybe knows the name of the ruler of um the current ruler of Rahadum.
Random bard knowledge.
But yeah,
Nope, don't know
so
nothing.
Billy probably is the one that knows the most about it. He knows that Rahadum is a country that is kind of infamous for being the place where religion is banned.
Band? I should go
Yeah,
there.
which would make some sense
Sounds like
about
heaven.
perhaps why a Pedriarch would be interested in a place like that or be like connected in some way to it. Um, you know a little bit about why that happened too, because your checks specifically from knowledge history.
Uh-huh.
You would know that uh, like several thousand years ago, there was a major war that happened there that kind of devastated the region back when it was like a much more divided land. It was a bunch of like individual city states, and they were three main factions of like religious factions, and they were like vying for control of the region to be like the dominant region. Um, and you would know that they were Nethicians, um, worshippers of Norgabur, and Sarenrites that kind of like duked it out and kind of devastated the region. And the ban on religion has lasted since then, when one of the more powerful city states drafted up a list of decrees, and the first decree was that all religion was banned. It was specifically worded as "Let no man be beholden to a god,"
Okay.
which was
Yeah.
decreed by what was his name here? Checking my notes. It was by Kaleem Onaku was his name. Shazar, you might know as well that the government of Rahadum is it doesn't have like a specifically like a king or anything. It has like a council, and it has a like a leader of the council that it serves at like 5-year periods.
Mm-hmm.
So his title is the keeper of the first law. And that's one of the things that makes it like difficult when dealing diplomatically with the um Like most of what you probably know is things about talking about like treaties and whatnot, and that very commonly the treaties of Rahadum are very like nebulous. Like they tend to be shorter term, and like people will, if they don't like the current keeper, they're like, "Oh, I'll just wait 5 years, and it'll probably be a different one." The current person, current keeper of the first law has served 4 terms though, which is highly irregular. There hasn't been a keeper um, like that probably since for like the last like several hundred years that has served more than like 2 terms. Um, and his name is in my notes here somewhere. Probably quicker for me to look it up, honestly. On the Pathfinder wiki. His name is Malduani.
Okay.
So Malduani is the current keeper of the first law, and the man who founded the country back like 2,000 years ago. Um, probably closer to about 1,000. No, actually, it's about 1,000 like 800 years or something. It's not quite 2,000 years ago, but it's like closer to 2,000 than 1,000. And his name was Kalim Onaku. It was the person who made the initial laws of Rahudam, or Rahadum rather. So I don't know if you share that with what you know with
Sure. Yeah.
Jonquil, but
Of
if
course.
so, he'll listen and say like, "All right, you're very good. You know, it seems you do know some of it." And that's what I want to warn everyone else that doesn't know about that is that when we go to Rahadum,
They don't like religion.
yeah, they don't like religion. I don't know if any of you are openly religious, but um, if so, we'll definitely want to keep that very low. Keep it to ourselves, as it were, because going to Rahadum and trying to proselytize will get you imprisoned at best, um, or killed at worst. The pure legion does not take kindly to it. Um, we'll be going to a port city to begin with, in Botasana, but um, Botasani rather. But um, we need to be careful. The rules probably will be a little more lax considering that it's a port city. But um, there's rumors that there's even a cult of Iomedae operating within the city. But if anything, that might make it more perilous because they're trying to crack down on the cult there, and they might be cracking down on other religions as collateral, you might say. But the I suspect there seems to be some sort of uh, shakeup within their council of elders that elects from them their keeper of the first law. And from looking at records, uh, I suspect that there's been some mentions that not direct. They didn't. None of them mentioned Pedriarch by name, but some mentions have made it seem that he might be involved in manipulating or having some sort of hand within this council, and I want to try to look into that.
Investigating their government.
Indeed.
That sounds tricky.
Well, fortunately, there's currently, I believe, an election coming up for the current keeper of the first law's term is ending fairly soon, and I believe that they usually elect a new council shortly before that. So I think that might be happening, if not already, very soon as well. So perhaps be able to get some insight into that. I've never personally been there, but my understanding is that each city and as well as several groups of nomads that live within the region have sent their own representatives to this council that picks the keeper. Um, but I think the method that they choose for their representatives is up to the individual cities and groups. My understanding is Botasani's is done via election. And so my theory is that perhaps if Pedriarch is, as I suspect, trying to has some sort of hand in it, he might be influencing that election in some way. And I'm hoping perhaps to find evidence of that.
Oh, we sneaky. We figure it out.
It's interesting, Dragon, to be interfering with such political matters.
I'll be honest, it really throws me off to hear Cult of Ioma Day.
Right?
Well, perspective.
Right. That's what it is. It's all
Of
perspective. They're
Oh,
illegal
yeah.
there.
Those good deity worshippers, they must be doing something nefarious.
I mean, usually they are, like, trying to undermine Asmodeus. Especially the cult of Milani.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been rumors of a cult of Iamade, and they've recently gained enough credence to be considered a threat.
Oh, that dastardly cult of helping the poor.
But yes, hopefully we'll have a little more of a direction when we get in there. Um, I might from there as well. We might try to travel some of the other ones. The the capital of Rahadum, Azir, is not too far from there either. It's within the same harbor, just further down and up the I don't know if it's pronounced Jodin River, Jodin River. I don't know. I'll put it in chat how it's typed.
Looks like Joden. No, me not very political. Me just like melting things. What best way you think we handle this?
I'm not 100% sure. I want to talk to some people on once we get there and try to figure out who the players in this election are, though. Maybe look into them, figure out who's backing them.
I'm also going to look at the members of the group to see if anyone else has any ideas to throw out there.
Yeah,
I hear crickets.
It might be one of those things where you just gotta get there and see what's available. Like what there is potentially to do.
We'll just melt the town.
We might even split up when we get there, perhaps.
No.
Never split the party.
We'll send two of you.
As long as half of us isn't going on a boat.
I
And
knew
the
the
other half
boat was
going
going to
to a
come up.
museum of wax, museum of statues.
Oh, that sounds like a grand idea. Go to a wax museum of statues.
Nothing bad's ever happened there.
Let's do it.
Yep, nothing bad's ever happened in a wax museum.
With plants.
Let's do all of the above.
Yeah, but yeah, it's evening, so sounds like tomorrow we'll probably do some of the work to help these newcomers that I'm just now hearing about. This is what Gonquil says because he wasn't here.
Okay.
And Gonquil also says he's like, I kind of want to talk to this this man that you said that this Olhas.
Yeah, you'll be able to soon.
Okay. So yeah, you guys can probably just head out for a night's rest unless anything else you guys want to do because it's all right. You guys already basically walked to. This is the same day that you guys walked to escort Olhas back, and then you guys came back. So that kind of was a whole day worth of travel for the most part. So it's already evening.
Okay.
I'm already asleep before you can do anything else. Got
Feeds
him.
the rabbit a bomb.
Take that, GM.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, the next day, whenever you end up venturing outside, you see that their town's very busy. They're setting up like they're trying to quickly get some like new buildings started and a lot of like movement around. Some of the people working on it are like you maybe you guys haven't really been here super long, but you might pick up on like some of the people that are helping do that are like not it's not their normal job, but they're trying to help out where they can.
Gosh, what a town of busybodies. I guess you live on an island village.
Do you guys want to set up camp before we go and talk to people?
Who do you want to talk to?
Everybody!
Everybody.
And Marcia says that's the best way to get info. And she's right. You just talk, and they talk. Some people talk more than I want them to, though.
I guess so. Although we're mostly just waiting for us to get on the boat, right?
Maybe. I mean, unless there's something else you guys want to do. A little bit, if you want to just do that, we can fast forward 2 days. Well, probably not entirely because this day probably. But
we can
yeah,
talk
it's
to
still
people
early in the morning.
like on the boat. Like they're heading to the same destination, right? So we can find out why they're going there, what they know, their thoughts and opinions.
Well,
On
most of the
the
people that are going to be on
candidates.
the boat were most of them are just going to be the sailors that were on the boat with you guys. when you
Sailors
guys
have
came here.
opinions, damn it.
So you actually already know most people on the boat.
Oh.
They were your fellow crewmen.
Oh, no, they don't know nothing about this place then.
I'm gonna go and
Well, some of them might have. Some of them might have
That's
been.
true.
Some of them might have been to Rahadum.
Yeah, I'm gonna go inform my uncle about what we're gonna do in Rahadum and see if
I was
he
hoping there was
can
going to be other
offer any
passengers.
advice or counsel.
Okay.
Well, now I get to continue my book.
This is a strange situation we find ourselves in. We're actually trying to discover any kind of like manipulation or corruption in their government, but not for the benefit of their people.
Are you going to try and have us
exposing
fight
this
the government
corruption.
again?
I mean, who knows? It's
My
possible.
God.
I don't think so. I think we're mostly just snooping.
We're gonna
It always
influence an
starts that
election?
way.
Which,
Probably a
if
lot of it's
like,
gonna depend on what you find, I would think too, right? Like,
Those Rebels Part 2.
maybe, but like I said, we're
Yeah,
only
no.
looking for information and
Mm.
in no way looking to actually influence their government or election.
so yeah, if you talk to your uncle Laszlo, he says like I know about it. I'm going too actually.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, he I already volunteered to go with Goncool. The uh the
That
shop
makes me
will be
curious.
fine.
What are you planning to do there with Goncool?
I'm just gonna help him find information.
Really? Okay.
This whole business with the dragon is uh very curious, and it's uh it's sparked my interest, you might say.
Kind of wanderlusty. I understand.
And I'm sure like I said, the shop will be fine without me here. I don't really get very many customers anyway.
Yeah, I suppose so. I'm not super looking forward to trying to influence or glean information out of others. I'm kind of hoping someone's just gonna uh, say something crass that incites a fight so that I can deal with that.
Yeah, we're just gonna overthrow the government.
We're just gonna go over, beat them all up. Um, well, if we bring a bunch of holy symbols with us, that can happen very easily, or so I'm told.
We should just like
Supposedly,
march
Ooh.
in clergy outfits and see
yeah.
what happens.
Supposedly, in Botasani, there's a black market with all sorts of interesting artifacts and
Do
such
it.
banned goods there. Although part of me wonders if what's interesting in Botasani is not very interesting to other places. Perhaps things that are just commonplace in the outside world.
So start our own black market store.
Yeah, perhaps. But I meant more like someone snooping and prying too hard.
In my experience, it's always good to be ready for uh, ready for a fight, though, especially
Eh,
when snooping yourself.
Does not
Oh,
seem
I
like
will be.
tactic kind of thing. Not tactic kind of tactic.
What, to snoop or to fight?
Negative one charisma. Come on.
Anybody do anything
I
else?
mean, if we find somebody that we want to interrogate, we can torture and intimidate them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't
That
think we
works
have a
much
paladin. We're good.
better in my experience.
And Laszlo says there's also more occult means of getting information out of
Oh,
someone.
if you have any like ideas on how to like do this with rituals, I'm down to help you with that and learn from them. I've been quite impressed with their powers of divination through occult means.
Ooh.
Yes, there's certainly limits on what I can do, but there is also a great many things that I can do that are outside the means of traditional magic. I
Right.
think,
Well, whatever you need to bring, I'll help you with it.
all right, probably, I'm probably going to bring a small amount of books with me and probably some incense and other minor trinkets.
Okay.
might be useful.
Then while we're getting ready,
He's
I'm
got
just gonna
like
help
3 suitcases
Laszlo
of books.
pack and
This is
like
just
familiarize
small.
myself with any rituals and
Yeah,
stuff
no, he
that
actually
we're gonna
does.
need.
He actually does like pack up like a pretty good like like basically 3 suitcases. Like he has a bunch of
Yeah.
crates basically with a whole
Yeah,
bunch of
Oh
don't
stuff.
my
bug the
god.
tieflings unless you want to help us pack.
Yeah, it's like,
And
he's
I'll be
got like
telling
mirrors and like
Jeez.
little what do you call them? The thing for
Just a
burning
small
incense.
amount.
Uh yeah, what do they call those?
Hmm.
There's like a specific word for it, the little trays you put incense sticks into.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Like a
be
censer or something, I
informing
think.
Yeah.
Eisenroll as
Depends
well
on the kind
about
of incense
what we're
holder it
doing
is.
and where we're going.
Yeah. But he has like all sorts of different ones. Like, oh yeah, these ones are useful for influencing dream rituals and like stuff like that. Then like, oh these ones are much more useful for in the waking world, like for mirror based ones. And anyway, yeah. So he's got like some very specific ones that he wants to bring just in case because he's not sure. It's like I don't know what I'll need yet,
Okay.
but yeah. So he spends like probably several hours, digging up all this stuff and organizing it and getting it packed in such a way, especially some of the stuff that's more fragile, to try to get it packed in a way where he's confident it's not gonna get broken while getting transferred overseas.
Yep, sounds good.
But yeah, and then sometime in the like kind of mid to early afternoon, the first like group of people starts arriving with like being led by Olhas. And so like Casimir himself like goes out to like kind of welcome in there and talk with Olhas about like what the plan is. And you gotta understand, like most people that are coming in there, none of them speak the language really. Like Olhas speaks a little bit of common and but mostly uses tongues to communicate. So it's kind of like he kind of is having to direct all of them. Um, and then Gonkul actually ends up helping out with that as well because he actually can cast tongues as well. But yeah, there's like um, not a whole lot of like people that can actually like communicate between the two groups. But yeah, he starts setting up like most of the first people kind of are getting set up in the inn, and uh, most of the sailors that are there are moving back onto the ship anyway because a lot of them were staying there. That's kind of like most of the people that actually just stay in the inn. It's like the only people that really stay in the inn are people that come in on the supply ships usually. Um, although the inn is also it also is the tavern, so people go there for that's where a lot of the business comes. But yeah, so they did it. Fortunately, they have like some of those rooms, and then like they have like some shelters set up, and they're coordinate the logistics of that. Up to you guys if you want to get personally involved with that yourself, but it doesn't seem like anybody's jumping out to try to do that. So, but yeah, Casimir's and Gonkul are kind of mostly Casimir is like working on that. He seems to like kind of really in his element while he's doing that. Like he's like constantly moving around and looks super busy, but it looks like he's not like stressed out about it. He actually looks like kind of at ease doing it. Like sort of shit that he likes doing.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab something to drink real quick.
Okay.
So if you guys have stuff you want to talk about with each other, or just think about what you guys do next, I guess. I'll be right back.
Oh. Yeah. Woo.
Yeah.
I'm slowly like coming to the realization it's morning for me because I just woke up. That I may or may not be getting sick. I'm just like, no. But I have a scratch at the back of my throat, and I'm just like, no, no, don't you dare start. I haven't been sick for like 10 years because I haven't been out in the public for like 10 years. And granted, I work at night, so I don't really encounter that many people. But you never know.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Okay, so if you guys don't have anything specific you're gonna do this day, nothing else is really gonna happen. It's just people coming into town. They're loading up the last of the supplies they want to, the mostly like sugar and rum and all the other stuff that they're exporting back to the mainland. Mostly going into like first stop that they are stopping at to offload some of it's going to be in Cheliax, is at least what the plan for the Wanton Ways is. But they're going to continue on further into the inner sea region. However, you guys will be getting off the boat before it gets to Cheliax. It's going to take a detour um, south of Cheliax to Rahadum to drop just you guys off. And Gonkle's paying the captain to take that detour because it'll set them back a couple days. But the captain seems a little nervous about letting adventurers back on the boat again.
Don't worry about where there be adventures. There be adventures.
That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about naval adventures happening or murder mysteries.
There's like services all across Galorian that's like, no adventures allowed.
You gotta think that that's gotta be a common thing with boats,
Maybe.
right?
At least. There's like in a boat specifically for adventures. No, you gotta take the adventurer mode. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Nothing ever happens on the adventurer boat because there's too many adventurers.
Okay. So yeah, if you guys don't have anything else to do, we'll just skip on to the next day then. People
Yeah,
continue
that's fine.
coming into to Snakeblade from there. If you maybe you guys hear that like not everybody's made it here. Like there's still some people that are kind of straggling behind, but like they're all of them are pretty much out of the demi plane. At least everyone that was willing to come. Well, Haas said there was a couple people that were like absolutely refusing to leave, and he couldn't convince them all. But so he said there's a couple that are staying behind. So hopefully they'll be fine. But people that
Okay.
are like too old and stubborn to come in, to leave in spite of the danger.
Yeah, that's their choice.
That's unfortunately kind of how I had ended up having to decide, but it wasn't an easy decision on my end.
Yeah, I'm of course not. But fine decision, I think.
They know
And
where
you
the
guys,
door is, yeah.
yeah, they know how to get out now if things do go
Yeah, at
if
least
things
that.
do end up getting the worst happens. Hopefully they'll know where to escape to. I hope. The problem is if danger comes, will be it'll come from that portal right that I mean we blocked it off, but it's the one right next to their exit. So they might
Oh, true.
if you know these fire genies come from that portal and start attacking them, they won't. I don't know what they'll do. Hopefully they'll be able to hole up and hold out. But
Well, they'll find out very quickly that they made, a mistake.
Yeah, so I hope that they're actually right and that they didn't and nothing bad happens, but I'm still worried
Mm.
about it.
Okay. Well, it is what it is.
Yep.
You guys hear that um the boat's gonna be leaving like basically in the middle of the day tomorrow. So you guys will have like one more morning here basically.
We'll hop on it then when it shows up.
Oh, the boat's already here. It's the same one you guys came in on.
Okay,
It just
then
hadn't
we.
left yet.
We're just wait until it's ready to go then. Like
Yep.
Okay. We'll skip
maybe maybe I'll try and make some sales using alchemical ingredients and stuff. Help out around like I have been. Super exciting.
all right. So next morning comes in, kind of the last few stragglers are coming in that morning. Um they're still kind of working to try to working as hard as they can to try to get new buildings set up for all these people coming in. It's not like too many people because it was actually a pretty small town in there. um I think from you guys talking with Old House, he was talking about how it's kind of been like declining a little bit lately, but not a huge town, but definitely a pretty good. It's probably more people like coming in at once than Snake Blade's ever seen. Like because normally you just get like one boat coming in, and this would be like several boats coming all at once. But yeah, so they're struggling to try to like find places for them all. Um, but they're still working on that when you guys get on the boat with Gonkul and Laszlo as well, and all the crewmen on the Wanton Ways.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the boat sets out a little bit kind of in the very early afternoon, probably a little bit after noon, and it sets a course back into the east towards the mainland and to Rahadum.
And I immediately get seasick.
Yeah, that's
You get
right. Yeah.
seasick.
Yeah.
Yep. She was the sailor that couldn't sail.
Yeah. No, I can sail. It just takes a toll out of me.
She has Natsu syndrome only on boats though.
Hmm.
I keep the mopping crew busy.
Yeah.
Practice makes perfect, right?
And fortunately, you guys kind of go around the island without getting hit by a tsunami or anything this time,
Ooh.
much to the
Hopefully.
relief of the captain. What was the captain's name again? I have it written down here.
Is it the same captain as before?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, I don't remember. You think I know my captain's name?
Yeah, I have it saved somewhere in here. Here it is. Her name is Yarnell Fessender. Captain Yarnell Fessender.
Oh, well, that sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. She is listed as being polite and professional, but she tolerates no shenanigans aboard her ship. And by
Especially murder
shenanigans, she
mysteries.
means murder mysteries.
A murder most foul.
She might have. I think she told you last time we was around the last adventurers I had on here. They caught someone getting murdered, and then they tried to murder that guy too.
The fat guy, what?
No, they tried to murder that guy too.
Oh.
Yeah, they tried to murder the guy. They tried to murder the guy that murdered the first person. Or I guess it
Gotta
was a
keep that
woman, but
murder chain
yeah,
going, you know?
they're
Yo,
like,
dog, I heard you like murder.
we heard you murdered someone, and therefore I must murder you. Because yeah, it's the same. It's actually the same captain as from Shattered Star.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recognize that right away.
She has PTSD.
Like, wait, is that the captain?
Yeah, it's the same.
Send her to
captain.
therapy. Oh man, I don't even want to know what Galarian therapists are like.
They just use magic to wipe your memory.
Just memory wipes.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, there's actually
They're
like
gonna
a
bottle
psychic
up your
spell
memory and
called.
use it in
What was the name
something,
of
I
that
don't know.
spell? I had a scroll of it in Strange Eons that we used a lot. It was psychic surgery or something.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Psychic surgery. It's funny. Let me mentally help you with my mental powers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's much more effective anyway.
And how does that make you feel? Oh, better. What were we talking about?
Oh, can you guys see anything on this map, or is it broken?
Token vision enable.
black.
What in the world?
It looks black.
Okay.
I see our mouse is moving around.
I need to turn off.
Woo!
How
Oh,
about
we
that?
see it.
Okay.
Woo!
Oh.
I forgot that like I have to basically turn off token vision almost every.
Yeah.
Because it wants to
Things
put
we
it
have
on
to
by default,
do.
and I'm like, I'm not using that system.
Hanging City of
Come
Teskra.
with.
There's a hanging city? That sounds cool.
Depends on the hanging.
Where you go to hang out.
Now that you said that.
Yeah, so this would basically be kind of like the map that you guys. So after you're traveling for a couple days, nothing really is happening other than like Efut being seasick. Unless you guys wanted to talk to somebody or whatnot, but I would assume a couple days passes uneventfully.
Nobody wants to talk to me.
But at that point, like kind of Goncool will get everybody together and he'll have like this map he rolls out that basically has all these points onto it. He says, "This is the nation of Rahadum," and he points right here, Bodasani. He says that's the port that we're going to be going to. It's the most visited port outside of perhaps Maniket, which is within the inner sea. But this is probably the other. If we go further inland through the port, the capital city of Azir over here, we might end up finding our way there. It's the seat of the government of Rahadum. There's also nomads that live within the deserts and the Eternal Oasis that also send representatives of the government. Yeah. It says the hanging city of Teskra is actually it's a well-known ruin of that predates the nation of Rahadum, even predates the Oath Wars. It's,
Why
from
they call it Hanging City?
Well, because of all the architecture of it, it's got like terraces and it was a marvel of the um, Jiskra. What's it? The Jiskra Imperium. I think that's the name of it.
Yeah, Jiska.
Jitska, yeah. So it's yeah. Anybody who knows like Pathfinder lore, that's like it's like basically an old empire like Aslanti or
I got curious after
Thassalon.
Secret brought it up, so I looked it up.
It's like this region's version of the Thessalonian Empire, kind of like it's an old empire that doesn't exist anymore, but has
Yeah.
left its mark on like everything in the region. There's ruins of it everywhere.
Apparently, the Hanging City, the entire population just left the city of their own free will, never to be seen again.
Yep, but the
Ooh.
city still remains, and nobody's
It
ever
kind of
moved
sounds
into
like
it.
the Aztecs. Not the
Roanoke.
Aztecs, the Mayans.
Is the Roanoke something like that?
Hmm.
Where people just vanish?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They just left their city as is for no reason.
Well, you know, everyone in
Mhm.
Thrushmore vanished one day.
I haven't heard about this. Was this something you learned about in your academy?
He
No, I
reads
think I
the
saw it
newspaper
in
at school.
one of Laszlo's books.
Oh.
Oh, interesting.
Something about a witch. Very occulty.
Yes, Thrushmore is a very, very strange place. Can't say I've ever been there. That's what Laszlo says.
Me either.
But yeah, they also have the three major cities. Kind of. There's also the city of Haldun, but it'll be very difficult for us to get there. I don't anticipate us going there unless we absolutely have to. Hopefully, we'll be lucky though. We are also. I did have to pay Captain Yarnell quite a bit. We not only are we off putting her schedule behind further, but we are actually going fairly close to the shackles. We should be okay. The Rahadum has its own navy that they use to protect not only from pirates from the shackles, but also privateers paid by Cheliax. It's been a long rivalry for controlling the Arch of Aradin,
Hmm.
which currently Cheliax controls, but they've tried to. Sometimes their privateers have tried to expand outside of that even. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to come up with a plan when we get to Botsani. I want to, as I said, I believe that there might be an election going on there, and I want to look into who is potentially going to be representing Botasani and who's backing those people, who's backing the candidates.
Hmm.
Because I think I might, if I don't find Pedriarch himself, I might find perhaps one of his agents.
Yeah, I tell Eisenroll the sword to, you know, keep the senses sharp while we're investigating.
Yeah, Eisenroll wants to. I hope we find Pedriarch and kill him.
Oh, you're eager.
Yeah, Pedriarch for his Pedriarch needs to die as well as Aradel for them both betraying me as they did.
All right, one step at a time, sword. You're
Yeah,
already edgy.
first we find him. That's the first step.
Okay, well, let's see. How should we start? I guess getting to. I guess we'll just go and get information on the candidates. So I'll act like I'm interested in
Are we
them.
arrived then?
Not yet. No, you guys
Okay.
are still like another couple days away from it, but
Oh yeah.
just Goncool kind of gather everybody together. So you guys are on the boat, kind of huddled around a little table and looking at this map.
Yeah, as soon as we get there, I'm not gonna go straight to the candidates though. Probably talk to just the locals.
That's a good idea. Perhaps see what
General opinion of the people. Yeah.
right or what's going on with. I mean, this as I said, I think Bodasani's selects the candidate that they send for their council of elders by means of election. So
it's truly the people's choice. Really? Really?
that's what the rumors say, but I have some doubts.
Yeah.
It does sound kind of absurd.
It's never the people's choice.
But
I mean,
supposedly Galt works that way, so maybe.
yeah, but I mean, no matter how they decide, we should figure out who it is and, what they're about. Because all we need is information on these individuals.
This is out of character because Eve wouldn't think of these things, but if there's no religion in a city, then that city has to be like heavily policed by some sort of military or something, or how else would they get people
Yeah, no,
to
he
behave?
told you about that. So he says that
Okay.
there's well he very briefly mentioned this that when you guys are going there, you need to be careful not to bring like religious symbols and stuff like or like holy books and things like that on you because there's a group called the Pure Legion
The
and it's
Pure
their
Legion.
job. Yeah, it's their job to like basically arrest people with that stuff and like keep that stuff out of there. And he also I think mentioned did you catch when I was talking about there being a cult of Iomedae
Yeah.
in Bodhisani? So they're
I'm not
they're
really
he
worried about
thinks
that, but
he thinks they might be especially active right now because of that. Like there might be more of the Pure Legion stationed within Bodhisani just because of that.
so I
But on the
have
other hand, maybe they're
questions
focused on
about
that.
Pure Legion.
Okay, sure.
Do they have their own, I mean, even though they're not a religion, do they have their own beliefs? A belief of something, not like necessarily a god or whatnot, but like what's
Well, they have the first law, which is that like no one is beholden to any god. Um, so I guess there's that. Um, they serve, in theory, I guess they serve the keeper of the first law, the leader of Rahadum.
so they are a religion then?
In a sense, you might say they are. Yes,
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend you tell them that, but
Oh. Right. The first god.
no, it's the first law.
Oh, the first law. Okay.
Yeah. So because there was a list of laws set out by the ancient philosopher Kalima Naku, who basically
Oh.
he was from the city of Azir, the current capital. Back then, there was a bunch of like separate city states that had. I mean, originally this was all part of the old empire of Assyrian before it kind of like splintered and fell into like a decay. So
Right.
during that time, all these city states were independent, um, and a bunch of wars broke out, religious wars um, between a number of sects trying to establish themselves as the dominant religion. Um, Back then, um, the main Assyrian religion had been Nethys, but there was also like worship of Sarenrae that had spread from the east, and there was a pretty heavy um, like sect of Norgaver as well from the south.
Okay. Do we know like the strictness of the policing in the city?
Probably pretty strict.
Well, that's what I'm not sure because normally it's pretty strict, but I'm not sure if the fact that there's this cult of Iomedae that's been becoming more active in the city, if that's going to be to our benefit or to our detriment. On one hand, it means there'll probably be more people there, but on the other hand, maybe they're more focused on cult of Iomedae. Maybe they won't be like paying as much
True.
attention to others.
Well,
We're
let's
not.
definitely not look like them.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be a problem as I look at all of us.
Yeah,
Goggles
we
is like,
do not look like cultists.
I normally pay respects to Iomedae. Casimir worships Iomedae, I know. Uh, is, says more prayers to Iomedae than most other deities, um, but I'm definitely not a part of their clergy so I won't be bringing a holy symbol with me for sure. If any of you have holy symbols, I'd recommend you hide them. If you'd like, I can store them in an extra dimensional space to make them almost impossible to be found, though.
No,
But
I
if
don't
that's
think
the
any of
case, I
us
wouldn't
are
be able to come out easily.
religious.
No, me like ideas, not religion.
No, perhaps you'll feel at home in this place then.
Me. Hmm. We expect to find a dragon here, though?
I doubt we're gonna find a dragon.
I feel
We're
like we're more
looking
likely.
for supporters or like co-conspirators of dragon.
Yes, I think more likely
Okay.
we'll find an agent of his within Botasani.
That's fair.
I've just heard that there's been um, several times where the politics of Rahudum have drifted into becoming more lenient of religions, but every time it begins to happen, there's a sharp change in the political landscape of particularly of the Council of Elders, and some of the records that I've found, firsthand accounts, have mentioned none of them have mentioned Pedriarch by name, but some of them have had descriptions that have made me suspect perhaps it is him.
Gotcha.
There have been sightings within Rahadum of a dragon that matches that description, but was not given a name. And
And dragons can't like make themselves look human, can they?
no, they can. That's actually one of the things that leads me to further suspect perhaps he's involved. It is possible even that he's on this council himself, but in a disguise, taking on a human form.
It was just a dragon with like a human mask sitting at a table.
That would be pretty funny. Well, you know what's actually really funny too is if you had like True Scene on and a dragon's like in a human
Oh,
shape, like
yeah.
that's what they would almost look like. You look over and
Yeah.
you see like, oh, that's actually a dragon. I think it's actually described as you'd see like a kind of like a translucent like um
Yeah.
like visage of them kind of like overhanging or kind of, but but
Hmm.
yeah, that'd be like a funny way to see it. It's like when you look at him with True Scene, you see him as just a dragon wearing a mask.
Yeah. That's what makes Sir Barrington's disguise so ingenious, is that it is just a bear.
It's mundane, yeah.
Yeah.
He just has really high ranks. Well, him and his translator have really high ranks
Yeah.
in bluff and disguise.
All right, anyway.
I should put Sir Barrington into a game sometime. Not I won't even have to explain it. He's just there.
Yeah.
So, Efoot's now gonna look at everybody as if they were Pedriarch.
Okay.
She's gonna have that squint when they're talking. She's talking to
That's
them.
the kind of discerning eye we need.
Yeah.
The kind of caution that you need to take. Anybody could be a dragon.
You never know. Yeah, you never know now.
You're like looking at even the other people in the party.
That's
like,
true. It could be one of you.
Pander, are you a dragon?
Oh,
I say in your head, it
I
could be
didn't
me.
Billy,
know about the
are
dragon
you a
until I knew about
dragon?
you guys. I kind of met
That
you
would
all at the
explain
same
so
time.
much.
Billy's the only one who says he hasn't seen the dragon. Does
Is
this
that
mean that Billy
true?
is the dragon?
Have I seen Billy and the
You also
dragon
haven't
at
seen
the
my
same
true form.
time? Have they been in my peripheral vision at the same time? I don't know.
Yes.
I'm unsure.
If you're talking about Pedriarch, yes.
When
I
he
was
was
on the
flying over the
boat.
boat, I was throwing up. I didn't see shit.
Okay.
That's fair. All right. So yeah, if you guys don't have any other questions, we can move forward, I
think
guess.
we're good.
I think so.
I just needed to know how I was going to behave in the city.
All right. So on, I don't remember Pathfinder calendar, but the equivalent of August 9th, the
Sure.
boat comes into Botasani, gets there kind of in the late afternoon.
Ooh. It might actually be pretty warm here.
It is. Yeah,
Uh.
this is like a desert. So
I don't like it.
but fortunately, you guys are on the coast, so there's like a a coastal
Yeah,
wind
it's
coming
not that
in.
hot.
It's not too bad,
Yeah.
especially because it's like it's pretty hot because it's like middle of the day, but it's starting the sun's starting to come down a little bit.
This is the nice area.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, it comes up into the and you guys see you see at the port that as you guys are coming in there is like a group of people all dressed in like what is obviously a uniform, kind of waiting for the boat to pull up to the dock.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But like officials or guards?
Are these the
So,
ship's crew?
what do you mean? Like no, the guys at the dock that you see?
Yeah, the ones all in uniform.
It's definitely not the ship's crew. No, this is before you guys pull up to the dock. Like you guys
These
see
look
them
like
as you guys are coming
city
in. They look
people
like
That's
they.
the pure
Mhm.
people.
And yeah, um that's probably what you hear like
Probably.
locals say as well. Like I think that must be the Legion of Pure. Yeah, they're kind of like they're wearing like these white kind of uniforms. So let me see if I can find a picture actually. I can show you guys. Maybe it'll just let me drag it into Discord. Let me see. Oh, maybe no, it's not cooperating. That's all right. I'll just save the picture and then upload it.
Hmm.
Okay, can you guys see that? Did that work?
Oh, hello.
Yeah, very pretty.
So that's kind of what
I
they
like
that's
their
kind of what they look
outfit.
like. So they're wearing these like white kind of
Mhm.
uniforms there, and they're kind of stay. You see like four of them basically waiting at the dock for you guys to pull up.
That is the most militaristic atheist I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. They are.
Militaristiest.
These are militant atheists, the kind that post 40-minute YouTube videos
Oh God.
responding to other 40-minute videos of creationists.
Oh no.
If you believe in a god, you better pray to them before I send you right there to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's sad is like I've actually watched a couple of those channels.
Oh, I think I have too.
For a little while, and then you're like, okay. And they really like to attack Girl Defined. If you have any idea who Girl Defined is, you need to learn. It's
I
hilarious.
don't. I
Oh
don't.
my
That
god.
might have been after my time.
It's two super, super, super religious girls who preach super religious girl things that are like
Yeah.
very anti-modern, and yeah,
I just know like
bad.
most of the ones that back whenever I watched fucking atheist YouTube it was always like arguing with like creationists that were like
Yeah.
pretty easy targets really. So,
Yeah. They
but yeah.
are. Oh, that was a flashback for my
Like
past.
it would be like they'd be going after like the sort of creationists that believe like the Earth is only 6,000 years old or whatever, like those guys. So
Oh.
yeah,
No, I was watching the ones that were going after like the super religious people, like the super, super religious.
yeah. Anyway, so yeah, pulls up and the boat pulls in. Like the captain kind of says down, it's like we're just bringing
Hmm.
some people here, just some passengers, no cargo being dropped off here. And they kind of like nod, and when they say, in order to enter, we need to conduct a search. Make sure you're not bringing any contraband into the markets.
Oh shit, what's
All right.
contraband? Did anybody teach us?
Hopefully,
Do I
pet
Religious
know?
rabbits aren't
iconography.
contraband.
No holy symbols.
No holy
No.
symbols, no holy books, no
Is a
religious
toad
painting.
a contraband?
No
A
holy
toad?
mollies.
I'm like holding it in my pocket as if it was a religious symbol. Oh.
Okay.
They're probably looking at me like, what she got?
One
What
of
she
them
got?
holds
And I
up
pull
like
out
a
a
book
toad.
and is like flipping through it, kind of looking through, and says, "No, I don't think that's I don't think that's a holy symbol."
Okay. I just stuff them back into my pocket with no regard of his feeling.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Let's go through customs.
Yeah, you're going through customs, going through Rahadum customs. So yeah, they kind of do like they do like a pat down too, and like they look at all your weapons and everything, and like
Mm-hmm.
they dig through your bags. I don't think any of you guys actually have any holy symbols though, right?
I don't.
No, did we
Not
pick
like a
any up?
cross or anything, no.
I don't think we
Okay,
picked
and then they
any up.
see all of the crates that Laszlo brought with them, and and then they start
Yeah, it'll be a bit.
opening those open and looking
Oh
through.
no, we're gonna be here forever.
And they actually like they find some stuff, they hold up and they look sternly at you guys, and you see that he actually does have some like holy
Oh.
symbols in there. And he's like, "Well, I didn't bring them for religious purpose. They're here to assist with occult rituals."
Yeah, I'll vouch for him.
Okay. What do you say then?
I tell them what I've learned of occult rituals, that yeah, these aren't tied to any kind of god or worship whatsoever. That in fact, these beseech, you know, these beseech powers beyond mortal comprehension.
Okay. Would you like to roll like a diplomacy check to
Sure.
try to convince them?
Anything that these things call out to are like neither divine nor profane. Blind idiot gods, maybe.
Anybody else want to help?
I will help.
I will help by not helping.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
will
I
explain.
can
Just
try, I
because they
guess.
look like symbols don't mean that
I,
they're
I don't know why that
actually-
says -2 for like all my skills, but that's a trained skill, so
Okay.
I think it automatically added a note to
Just
everything.
for some reason added it to everything. Well, you know,
Well, I have a
This is
trait that's
amazing.
-2 to untrained skills.
Oh,
but-
okay, that's why I put it in there. So, but I can tell it's a trained skill because if I click on that 15, it breaks it down and it says you have 1 skill rank in it. So,
Okay.
so I know that the note does not apply in this case. Okay, so what Vandir and Efoot say to try to convince these guys not to, I don't know, arrest Laszlo or steal all his stuff?
Yeah, the argument is that they're not actually religious symbols.
So you're saying like they just look like religious symbols, but they're actually tools. Is that
Well,
what you're saying?
no, just because they look like symbols doesn't mean they're related to religion. That's something I learned.
What about you, Vander? What are
Well,
you
you see,
saying?
this man is a hoarder. He likes to travel to lands and collect objects, whether he knows what they are or not, and he brings them home and displays them in his tiny, tiny house, but it's just full of garbage.
Yeah.
Gosh, you don't pull any punches.
Wow.
I mean, that's like not untrue.
Laszlo's like, hey, and they kind of like nod and like, as long as they don't end up in the market, can you promise me that none of this stuff is going to end up on the market for sale anywhere? I don't want to find out these were spotted in the sword pits.
I don't imagine it would be for sale by us. The only
And-
reason this stuff would make it there is if you have a thief on the loose. No, we like this stuff, right? Right?
And Gonquil latches on. You heard him. He's a hoarder. He wouldn't dare sell you this stuff. And they nod and say, "Very well. You may bring this. You may enter then."
He's so much of a hoarder, he had to bring his hoard with him on vacation.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
He goes out with trash.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
they agree that it's fine.
Would be like so desired among hoarders.
Oh, true. Your house is just full of bags of holding. You like go in there, it's just full of bags of holdings everywhere. You're like, fuck, how much money did you spend on this shit?
All right, so the Legion appear. They give you like the allowance to come in. They don't help you guys rebox the crates though. Like they just leave all the stuff in there. So Laszlo starts like trying to put it back in the crates and everything. So, but yeah, you guys are allowed to enter the city of Botasani.
All right.
Good work.
Without anybody getting arrested.
Yep. All right. I assume we got to go find lodging.
We can do that on our way. I will randomly talk to people, and ask them, "Hey, what's going on? I heard something's crazy going on in the town. What's up?"
Okay. Fortunately, they're in a city that hasn't had any sort of like history with goblins and whatnot. So actually, people are willing to. They are willing to talk
I
to
don't
you.
know what a goblin is.
They know what goblins are probably, but they don't have like as much of a prejudice against goblins, considering that
I'm probably very like
there aren't goblins in this region.
and they're not used to it. Maybe.
No, well, there aren't goblins in this region. They're not common down in this part of like Galarian. So, yeah. So some of them will talk to you. So you hear like a little bit about like the Pure Legion. Like I saw Pure Legion harassing you when you were coming in. They've been doing that to everyone. They've been especially on the lookout for Iomedanes because it's been all sorts of people coming in trying to bring that dirty Iomedaean nonsense into the town. They should know we don't need that here.
Is that a normal practice for the Pure Legion to like search people like that? Is that like a daily thing?
Just for outsiders mostly, but they've been cracking down and searching people that have lived here. I like my brother got accosted by the Pure Legion on his way home from the bar yesterday. He's lived here all his life. They should know he would never stoop to worshiping dirty Iomedaea.
Are they really dirty, or are you just saying that because you're supposed to? Don't.
Well,
you can tell
Iomedae is one of those, gods. I say with quoted fingertips.
Yeah, exactly. She's one of those gods.
Yeah, they didn't really, they just kind of, lucked their way into divinity. They're not real gods.
Oh. What?
Like
What?
the drunkard.
Yeah, the guy's like, I don't know what you're talking about either. all I know is whenever there's people that worship these gods coming in, they always got to be fighting people worshiping other gods and trying to force people to worship their god and thinking they're the best, and we don't need any of that here. We take care of ourselves here.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
that's not my experience in Sandpoint, but okay.
If you
Well,
don't
we're
worship
not in
gods, you're less likely to fight other people.
we're not
with
in
their
Sandy
beliefs.
Point.
So you're acknowledging it's you then. Okay.
But yeah, they're just doing their job to keep the those Iowadeans out. So I guess we can put up with them. But man,
They should look out for
I can't
Milanites
believe
too.
they thought for which ones now?
Milanites or the
Oh
cult of
yeah,
Milani.
I've never heard of her, but you're right.
I'll
They
tell them
should.
all about the cult of Milani and the bloody rose on the cobblestone and how they're always trying to incite shit in
Overthrowing
Cheliax.
decent society. Can you believe that? No respect
Yep.
for laws. Terrible.
Or
So you
Abigail,
like it here?
the second.
You like the laws here?
Oh yes, it's the best place in the whole world. We are the freest people because we don't have to bow to any gods.
And they tell us this every day, so we know for
And
sure
you're
it's
well
true.
fed and you have nice house.
I mean, I have a decent enough house, and I'm not suffering for food, but there have been a little bit of worries. The weather hasn't been the best lately.
Is this just some random person on
Yeah,
the
it's just
street?
some random
Yeah, yeah.
person that Efut started talking to.
Oh, okay.
You know, there's been the weather's been kind of rough. We're a little worried about the upcoming harvest, but you know, we always find ways to deal with these sorts of things. The you know, the government, they take care of us. The council of elders.
Doesn't sound so bad. Well, you do you. Do you know anything about the election?
Oh yes, my vote's going to Enku.
Who?
Enku. I think that she's got the best interests of us. I don't think those other guys do, though. I think that they're just trying to get all the money and prestige that comes with being on the council. But Enku, like, she wants to bring, like, she wants to make sure that we always have food, and that's what's important. And also
Well, sheep do need to be fed.
keeping the Amadeans out. She's gonna help do that too.
Is there like a voter's pamphlet guide or something?
Maybe.
Hmm.
I don't know. I have a sign in front of my house.
Well, are there any
Oh.
like public speakings or rallies that this person would be hosting?
I think Enku's doing some sort of rally tonight. Actually, I wasn't planning to go, but
I don't want to go to the MABA rally, okay?
but yeah, I think she's doing a rally at at, right in front of the courthouse.
Well, if we want to find a dragon and co-conspirators of dragons, we're gonna have to go to a rally.
Yeah, you should if you. I mean, I don't know. Are you planning to move here? Like, you should go see the future leader of Botasani, Enku. She's going to be at the courthouse.
We'll go check it out. Thank you.
I don't think you guys can vote, even if you guys are moving here, because I think you have to have lived here for like at least a year before you can vote. I think that's how the rules are.
Does the future leader's views align with the current leader's views?
I mean, mostly, I think.
Okay.
She's actually uh planning going up for re-election. She was already on the council,
The incumbent.
Gotcha. Okay.
but she's served us well on the council these last 5 years.
All right. I'm curious to learn more about these opposing parties, because that don't sound so bad, keeping people fed. I like food.
I just wish that the other people on the council would recognize her genius and let her be the speaker, the keeper of the first law.
Oh, how often do you have your elections?
Every 5 years.
So she already ruled for 5 years, so they should already have experience with her. So their
Well, she's only been
opinions
on
would.
she's only been on the council. But I mean that guy he's been on the council. He's been the speaker, the keeper of the first law for 4 terms. That's 20 years.
Yeah, 2
You know,
decades.
do you know what I was doing 20 years ago?
How old is this
You're
person
not
look?
alive?
You can roll a perception check to try to determine how old you think he is.
Okay.
You were still playing Atari.
He looks like he's probably in his 40s, or that if he's younger than that, he hasn't aged particularly well.
Okay. I'm guessing you weren't adventuring.
He was getting
Right. I was a
lessons.
little kid back then.
Uh-huh.
I
Oh, he
was
didn't
still
age
learning.
very well.
I was still learning my numbers.
We all
And
were
this,
at some point.
and this whole time, he's just been sitting there. I mean, he's done all right, but I think that Enku could do better.
You want change. You want something fresh.
I want some change, but not that much change. Just like a little bit of change.
Just a little bit.
I just want enough change where things things are a little better here, where I don't have to worry as much about famine and Iomedeans. All these Iomedeans there's
Is
just been more of them in the last like 3 years or so, and I don't think it's Enku's fault. I think if anything it's the everyone else's fault.
what's the worst an Iomade has
Oh
done
my
to
god.
you?
Iomade? She hasn't done anything to me specifically, but she's trying to like take over, and I don't want any of that
Do you know why you don't want that?
because they've changed things and things are fine the way they are.
That's fair.
Mm.
Things might be fine the way they are. I'm not here to
But
judge that.
yeah, I think Malduani's not harsh enough on the Iomedeans, and I think Enku would be better at it. So I'm hoping that she wins re-election here, and then that the other people on the council agree that she should be the keeper of the first law.
Wait, what do you do to them if you get them?
What do you mean?
If you
The
catch an
Almadeans?
How do you punish Iomedeans?
Oh, well, I don't do anything to the Almadeans. You'd have to
Well,
ask the
not
Pure
you,
Legion. But I'm
them.
sure whatever they do, the Almadeans had it coming.
It's not public.
So
then.
wait. You say you don't think they hard enough, but you don't know what they do?
Look, they're not hard enough. They're not harsh enough on capturing them. Like to begin with, they're just letting them run free.
They're like
But you
rodents.
just
They
say they
breed.
capture them.
I mean, some of them, but they're not getting enough of them.
He wants a clean city.
So Tactical starts scribbling notes down in his
Yeah.
in his notebook, just like completely at a complete loss as to what the heck this person is on.
You know, he's on politics. That's what he's on.
Right? Yeah. But that's not something that Tactic has any experience with, so it doesn't make any sense to him.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
even when Tactic was he was in Cheliax before, if I remember right.
Underneath it, yeah.
But he wasn't in like the proper Cheliax society, so he
No.
didn't really.
No, and even then, he just worked with the people around him. Nobody really cared.
I think he was in kind of a what would you call it? Like kind of an underground society, like or like there's a word that I'm trying to think of.
They didn't prosper. They didn't have any real leadership. They just worked together.
Yeah.
Like a commune.
But yeah, exactly. But anyway, yeah, so if he continues on talking about like how great Enku is, as long as you let him.
That's fine. At least we know the name of one of these people, and I guess another one by proxy.
Efoot's bored with it. I want to find a voter's guide or something. Figure out who these candidates are and what they believe in.
Okay, so if you go continue and ask around, you find out that there are like a couple different people, but ultimately it's effectively a two-party system. So there's effectively
As always.
there's effectively like um two people that have like any chance of actually winning. The first is the incumbent Enku, and then there's a guy named Finnis
Okay.
who
However,
is
we could
running against her.
influence the third party.
No, we're not here to influence anything. We're just here to get
Why?
information.
We're just here to burn it down.
They could potentially would be burning it down, but you know. Okay, all right. What do we know about the other candidate?
Finnis. So you learn that Finnis actually, despite what the other guy was saying, Finnis actually has a more militant approach on like getting rid of the Amadeans and um like cracking down. Like he seems to have almost like a close the ports, don't let anybody come in at all. Whereas Enku like wants to keep it's more like we're gonna keep them out, but at the same time we need to keep our ports open because like people need to eat and like
Mm-hmm.
we're having problems because we're in a desert with like
Survival.
famines and stuff.
Yeah.
Like we can't entirely shut it. Like she's the more moderate, whereas Finesse is like kind of an extremist. Like we need to close the borders, not let anybody in,
Build a
purge.
wall.
Yeah,
I was trying to avoid saying that.
purge the town of all the Amadeans. Start a great inquisition of like you know, like he seems to be the more extremist candidate.
Okay. I am armed with knowledge.
And then there's a number of like there's even like there is a candidate for example who's like we should try to be more accepting of religions as and just only not allow them to proselytize but allow people to worship freely if they want to and
I'm
We
sure they're
should let people
shit
be who
on.
they want to be and break up the banks.
yeah there's like but those none of them seem to have like any real support. It
Yeah.
seems like almost everybody's kind of aligned with either Enku or Finnis.
This will live too close to home for me.
yeah.
Efoot cares not who wins.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter who wins. We just need to find
Yeah.
out who might be in league with the dragon.
Right.
Probably
I
the
know,
more
it's just-
extreme.
I don't know about that though because like why would he close off everything?
He just wants to make Bodasani great again.
What benefit would Pedriarch get aligning himself with some dude who's just gonna lock down a city and most of the citizens are gonna die from it?
Yeah,
And
the
he's here to
dragon might
control
be.
populace.
I don't know if Gonquil would. His speculation is I don't know if Pedriarch really cares about the people here. If
Right, but why would he care to lock down a city? Like, is it just for fun? Like, what's the gain?
well, I don't think if either of these candidates is being influenced by him, he might only care about one particular thing. It could be either one of them, really. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what his, other than the fact that he wants to destroy the gods. I don't know what exactly he would want from a candidate if he has any sort of sway over them.
It sounds
It does
weird.
seem like perhaps with his views that he might be more likely to be aligned with an extremist, like Finnis, but
Is he
Unless.
trying to start an army? Maybe like this
Wait,
is like the root.
what
of...
if What if he's lined up with the one that's trying to allow religion in so that they can bring some religious sect in to start causing problems and make everyone lock down even harder the other way?
I mean,
don't think that
perhaps
sounds.
Pedriarch's very old, so he could have very long plans that would have that sort of long-term goal, I suppose, but it's hard to
No.
say. He could even perhaps he's supporting one of the other candidates as well, but I
Oh
find that
shit! Maybe we just talked to him. I like side eye that person we're leaving.
Talk to who?
that random person on the street that
Yeah.
you're talking to, maybe that was Pedriarch all along.
It could have
Yep.
been. I don't know.
Let's
Could we like gather information to see if there was like some kind of like undercurrent movement of trying to shovel a specific candidate in?
we could definitely do a gather information, but I'm not sure I understand exactly what you mean by the question. Like,
Well, so like
Is
if
aside
it really,
cheating?
yeah, like
did like a side seem like they came out of nowhere or something? Like,
yeah,
well,
like
you
the
already know Enku's like the incumbent, so everyone knows who she is anyway.
mhm.
But like for Finhas, that's a interesting question, right? Like
Is he
where
established citizen? How long
yeah,
Like
has
is
he
he,
been here?
is he
Yeah.
established or did he just like come out of nowhere within like the last
yeah.
month and gain popularity out of
Okay, yeah,
nothing?
that's a good question to ask. So go ahead and roll a diplomacy for gather information on that. Um, and anybody else who wants to help do that,
Um,
you guys can.
Can
I'll
I
assist.
intimidate people instead? That's
Yeah.
my better.
Sure.
so
I mean,
I'll
that might
assist.
get you in trouble, but you can try
That's okay. I'm ready for trouble.
it.
I'm
Or
I
gonna
have
go off
a
into the
I have a
crowd away
mean
from the
talking
party.
sword.
I'm sorry, what was that, Ron?
Yeah,
You want to
I'm
go?
gonna go like away from the party
Sure.
and
And
yeah,
do some questioning on your own. Okay.
yeah.
Ooh, I rolled high enough.
I cannot.
Okay. So most of you guys don't really get much. Like a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't really know. Like, I think he's kind of just like a businessman or something. But yeah, Vander, you actually do find out that yes, he actually did kind of like he apparently has been in supposedly he's been in Botasani for like a while, but it's kind of one of those things where somebody's like, it's actually kind of nebulous. Like I don't think he's actually from here. I think he came in from Azir or something, and I think a lot of his so-called business connections that he's had within here are fabricated. Seems like there's some sort of he does seem like he has like a lot of wealth, but I don't think it's actually local wealth. I think he's like I don't know. There's something shady about him.
He's district hopping.
Yeah,
Well, I
that's
mean,
kind of like that what impression you get. Like he's actually maybe not even a local. Maybe he actually came
Mm.
from somewhere outside. Or if he is a local, yeah, it definitely seems like he's getting like he's not actually a success. Like he's kind of describing himself as like a
A front
successful
man.
local businessman, but like
So
um
he's basically Trump.
yeah, I was gonna say he's basically Joe Kent, but I think only Derek knows who I'm talking about in that case.
well, if we have, found a thread or something that we should pull on it, see where it goes.
All right.
Uh,
But yeah, during all this time that this takes like a while to kind of go around and canvas around that, it's starting to get late at this point.
Okay.
mhm.
So Gonquil says like we're gonna stay at this inn. Um it's called the I'm gonna use a random inn name generator actually.
Mouse asks questions, but he's kind of more reserved now that we're in a big city.
Sure.
He doesn't like big cities. Um,
The inn's name is the Sandy Point.
The inn's name is the next best tower.
Okay.
And true to its name, it's like it's got multiple stories. Like it's actually kind of is a tower a little bit. Um, it's like 4 stories tall. So I mean, compared to the surrounding stuff, it's
mhm.
not it. You look around and it actually looks like it might actually indeed be the second tallest tower in this neighborhood. And it's got a pub as well, but um, they in addition have an inn because it's fairly close to the it's kind of fairly close to like to the harbor rather. So a lot of like travelers and merchants and whatnot that come into here um,
Mhm.
end up in it at this place. So
Right.
but yeah, Gonkel pays for like a few rooms here, like probably 3 or 4 rooms to split up between you guys, and um, you guys get to stay here for the night.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Does Tactic want to stay here, or are you staying outside?
Unclear.
I will stay in the inn.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna assume Tactics staying at the end too if Derek doesn't say something.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll share a room and maybe have someone else join us because I'm just a little bunny.
Sounds like a
I
plan.
don't need a bed.
Okay.
Alice is gonna sit. Is there like a pub? You said there's a bar
Yep.
area,
This
right?
is this is a pub and inn. So like the first floor basically has like a pub and the upper stories are where all the rooms are. So yeah.
We'll go find a corner to sit in and just basically just listen. He's not gonna like. Yeah, I guess he can gather information, but he's not gonna ask any questions. He's just listening to
Yeah, no,
like
that
local
works.
talk.
That's a way you could do kind of like eavesdrop on other
Jump.
people and
Yeah.
kind of like over here like
Hmm.
or just kind of people watch. So yeah, go ahead and roll a perception for that and for that then if you'd like.
Yep. Let me pull it up.
Stands very still like a plant in the corner of a tavern.
Yep.
I don't even like people. They're against my
Ah.
looks around religion.
Not that well, but
Pretty low roll, but yeah, you hear like a little bit of stuff kind of continuing along the lines of what you already were like
what
hearing
what
about.
I how I could see this perception is he's only been here less than like a day, and so like probably like names that they're saying he just doesn't know who they are. But once we've been here a little bit longer,
Hmm.
you might be able to like pick out different names and like
Yeah.
understand who they're talking about.
Well, I mean, like you hear some stuff too, but it's a lot of it's stuff that you already have heard. Like you
Yeah.
hear, um, yeah, it's probably hard to kind of tell. You think it seems like more of like the locals here, that are hanging out here seem to like support Enku more than Finhess, but like
Hmm.
it's hard to say if that's the general like if that's actually like the way the city feels or if that's just how this particular crowd feels because it's just the people
Yeah.
at this one bar.
Yeah.
Um, but the other thing too is that a lot of the people here, um, they're not all locals. A lot of them, because this is an inn and pub, like a lot of the people
Hmm.
here are like people from out of town as well. So there's
Yeah.
not a whole lot about the election. Like a lot of the people that are from out of town don't care about it because they're here for
It's not gonna affect.
their own
Yeah.
business. They're here for their own mercantile stuff or whatnot. So you maybe hear some other like news from outside. Like somebody talking about like, oh yeah, like such and such captain down in the shackles is doing is making this political move within the. They have like this sort of like council of pirate captains down in the shackles. Very
Hmm.
silly, but yeah, you might hear a little bit about those politics even, which isn't what you guys are here for, but maybe somewhat interesting.
Yep. All right. He'll sit down there for a little bit and
Yeah, eventually
probably
make
go up. Yeah,
it
make his
bad.
way up.
Yeah. Anybody else need to do anything? And just fast go to the next day then.
I go down and ask
Well,
for
wasn't there
extra
going to be a
blankets.
rally?
There was. You guys want to go to it?
I'm going to
Yeah.
go to it.
Okay.
I'm going to go learn information
What
I'm
time is the rally?
in the evening.
It's in the evening. You guys, it is evening right now. You guys.
Okay, so
Wait.
yeah, it's not that late. So I'll
Okay.
go to the rally if everyone else is at least.
Okay, and Gonkel says he has like his own thing. Something else he wants to look into. He has a contact he wants to speak with. Um, he's not going to go to the
Oh.
rally with you, but he says um he before he leaves he gives each one of you like this little gem,
Okay.
and he
What the hell
says
is this?
this is a something that for if an emergency comes up. This is something keyed specifically to me, and it'll cast the spell sending to me.
Okay.
So if you
Ooh.
get in trouble, you can break this gem and talk to me.
All right. That's very
And
useful.
hopefully I'll be able to help you. But um it's got the normal limitations on it. You can only send a short message
Mhm.
uh out of character. It's 25 words, and then
Yeah.
he can give you a 25-word response if you do.
You gave each one of us one.
Yep. So you each all have one of those.
Ooh.
I
There's
probably
25. How many of us are there?
How much
there's
can we sell
6 of
these
you.
for? No, I'm kidding.
It's a custom item, so I'd have to figure that out. I
No,
guess
no,
I
no,
could
no,
probably
no,
calculate it, but
no, 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 no,
There's
no. I
actually, it's
kid, I kid.
probably not worth anything because it's specifically
It's
keyed
specifically, yeah,
just
like
to
who is
talk
this
to
yeah,
guy?
Gonkel, and unless you were like who. So it's
yeah.
probably not actually
There's
worth
5
very
of
much.
us.
Like if you had
So
a
we have
scroll
100.
ascending, that'd actually be pretty valuable. But
Yeah, no, that's fine.
One way to look at it is we have a total of 125 words to send them.
yeah, if you guys are all sticking together and need to send a longer
Mm.
message, you could break a bunch of them.
Yep.
Okay, so who's all going to the Enku rally? All of
I
you?
am.
I think all of us.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Sure.
Alice will go.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So yeah, you guys find your way to the front of the courthouse in the center of Botasani, and kind of on the at the front of it, you see there's like a crowd gathered there, and they're all lined up. Well, not lined up, but they're all like grouped around the steps leading up to the courthouse, and standing kind of at the top of the steps. You see kind of this like older woman up there, and
Mhm.
she's talking to them.
Okay.
So you see her, she's talking about, like we have to be vigilant the about not repeating the crisis that was the Oath Wars that devastated this region, and that the effects of that we are still feeling even 2,000 years later. Um, like we cannot understate the dangers, but at the same time, my opponent, uh, what he wants to do is dangerous as well, and could hurt people in more subtle ways, but than another Oath War would, but are in their own way equally dangerous. And yeah, so she's basically talking about like, yeah, we need to like keep keep these religious fanatics out, but we can't be like closing down everything and becoming isolationists. Like we do rely on help from outside trade in order to survive in the desert here. What do you guys do at this rally? Do you kind of just listen to her? Do you guys try to look for what do you do?
I would like to look for anything that might be like a little, like a hint of Pedriarch. Although I'm not really sure what I'm looking for.
That's fair. So you can just roll a perception check trying to look for something suspicious, I guess.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, if anybody has anything specific to look for, it could potentially lower the DC, right? So, but yeah, if you don't
Um,
have anything else that you can think of, just rolling a general perception check.
I don't know if
Or
I know like what an Iomedean would look like.
do you have knowledge religion? Well, I guess bardic knowledge, so you might know. Like you
Yeah.
might know the Iomedean holy symbol, for example.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna look for like one of those individuals, see if they're like listening in on the rally or something. It's gonna be here.
Okay. So yeah, you would know what the holy symbol of Iomade would look like.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't
but
see
would they
anything.
have it out in the open? I don't know.
Probably not, but
But do they have like colors, a theme or something? Maybe.
I think they do have colors actually. I think they normally I think red might be one of their colors. Let's see, what does it say their holy symbol is? Their holy symbol is a sword with like a sun behind it, or sometimes it's stylized as like like a sword with like the hilt kind of um shaped to look sort of like a sun with like a or a
Uh-huh.
pointed star kind of, but like a many pointed star. But yeah, so it's usually supposed to be like a sword in the sun, and those are kind of like her um like uh not quite like to the same degree as like Saren Ray, where she's even more about like all the sun and like she's kind of like a fire goddess. But Iomade is like known as the inheritor by some. She used to be like I think it was an avatar or like a what's the word, a herald, I think, or something. She was like a servant of Aridin before Aridin disappeared and before she became a deity in her own right. So for some people she's sort of become the like that's why she's called the inheritor. For some people she's sort of been the
Hmm.
inheritor of Aridin, who used to be like the most worshipped by humans in particular, which is what most people in this city are humans. Um, so some view her as being like the new like goddess of humans, basically of like humanity. Um, but yeah, she's sort of like an honor, justice, and valor, like a kind of like typical like paladin god. Um, like those are her domains. Her domains are glory, good, law, sun, and war. So, but yeah, yeah, it would be hard to spot that because obviously you can't openly wear the symbol, but um, yeah, knowing that might uh help you potentially see something.
We'll see.
If anyone tries to help me thinking I'm like a poor lost bunny, I'm gonna be sus of them being Iomedean.
I don't think anybody even pays attention to a rabbit in the middle
I'm just
of a
saying.
rally.
If it happens, I will be sus.
Um, yeah, in fact, actually, they're probably more like they might notice. They're more likely to notice like some of you that like tactic and e foot. Well, actually, most of you guys like you guys are most of you are pretty clearly not human. Other than like the most how can I put this? the one who's least standing out probably is Vandir because he's a
Mhm.
half elf.
Yeah.
And the rest of you guys are pretty like clearly not human, right? Unless you guys are like wearing hoods and things, which I think like if I'm remembering right, Malice normally wears like a hood and like tries to
Yeah, he's all covered up.
tries to kind of
Yeah,
not
he's a plant.
but he
Yeah.
doesn't want people to know because he's had bad experiences in the past.
Mhm.
That's fine. I'll keep them distracted for you.
So probably somebody like will like ask probably one of you will ask like, "Well, you guys live here? Like I've never seen you around here before. You don't look like locals."
No, we're
Nope, I'm a
tourists.
sailor.
Oh, what are you doing here then?
I sailed.
No, I mean, what are you doing at a political rally for a local election?
It's amusing.
Okay, I guess there's no judging for tastes.
I just wanted to see what was going on.
Well, sorry you
We
had
don't
to
really
witness
have these where I'm from.
bizarre political rituals happening here.
Yeah, it's a political ritual.
All right, they otherwise most people just leave you alone. But yeah, she gives her speech for a while, and then like when
I
she's
can
done,
see why Queen Abigail doesn't tolerate these kinds of things.
yeah, you're like this is dreadful. After she's done talking for a little bit, like someone else kind of takes over and is like basically talking her up. Basically, is like, oh, all these great things she's done. She's helped. Uh, we haven't had a famine in the last 15 years, and she has served on the council for 10 of those years.
Oh,
And
these people are downright spoiled.
And even though we almost had one, it was because of her leadership that we avoided. It was in large part because of her leadership that we avoided having any sort of that people weren't starving. If if Finnis had been running things, people would have been starving. And anyway, yeah. So there's a couple other speakers talking as well, and you see that like Enku's kind of uh like after she talked there, you actually don't see where she kind of walked down through the crowd a little bit and shook hands with a bunch of people, and it was like a kind of slow exit out. Do you guys do anything while
Okay.
she's doing that, while she's leaving? Do you try to go talk to her or
I
anything,
murder
shake her
her.
hand? Try to attack her?
Whoa.
I
You
mean,
can
you
find out
can.
lots of information while in jail. Just bail me out.
Just no, just use your sending thing.
Huh?
Easy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Guess. I didn't mean to do it, I swear.
Can you break me out of jail? And he's like, I'm gonna use my 25 words here to say no.
Oh shit.
Is that 25 words?
We're oh man.
I don't think I do anything other than watch and listen and perceive.
Okay. Yeah. She kind of makes her way through the crowd, and
If this person is in league with Pedriarch, they've shown nothing that would make me suspicious, I suppose.
yeah, nothing seems out of the ordinary to you. Like it looks like she just shakes her hand with a bunch of people and like thanks them, for their support, and makes her way through. And she ends up leaving with. She has like you see that looks like she has a couple bodyguards with her that go with her the whole way, and she leaves, and when she leaves, like you see there's some people that follow her and like um a little ways, but yeah, it looks like she's heading somewhere else into the town.
Okay.
Do you guys stick around with the rally? Like, get another speaker speaking, or what do you do? Do you try to follow her?
Should we follow her?
I'll say that perhaps there's something else she's up to.
Okay, you
So
see there's other people
spying
Okay.
isn't
following
a
her.
bad idea.
So there's a few other people that are following her. You think couple of them, some of them are the bodyguards, though.
Oh, she's not really the one we're that suspicious of, though, right? Because she's not the one that came out of nowhere.
She's the moderate incumbent.
So I don't know. I'm not that sus of her. But if you guys want to follow, I'll go with you.
I mean, I don't really have a reason to.
I'll ask the party. Hey, someone ask if there's another rally, like an opposing rally for the other guy tonight.
Sure, we'll try and see if anybody knows if they're doing anything for what's his name?
Finnis. I'll put them in
Finnis.
chat.
Yeah, find out when
Those are
Finnis
the
has his
two.
rally.
Let's see if
two
Finnis is having a
primary-
rally, and let's incite people to go and crash it.
Or if he's having a rally when it is.
Okay. Like go protest at the rally over there,
Yeah.
basically.
I don't want to protest. You can do that if you want. I just want to know if he has a rally, and if so, when and where.
Okay. You want to roll like a diplomacy check? Try to ask around here about it.
I'm gonna
About
intimidate.
Intimidate.
I will
Okay.
assist with diplomacy.
Tell
Because
me
I'm a
what you
rabbit, and
will.
I'm not gonna just talk to people.
Like, whoa. Okay, look.
That's pretty high for a rabbit.
There's no reason. There's no reason to go stir up trouble or anything. But okay, look. If you wanna do it, he's doing a rally right here tomorrow night. But I'd stay away if I were you. I think Finnis's followers they're they're dangerous, crazy,
Maybe I should intimidate more people to go and
especially for
protest their
foreigners.
rally.
Have you seen us?
Rallies aren't something that are not. Both rallies and protests are not allowed in Cheliax. This might be very interesting to engage in myself.
Sandpoint might have had like minor protests, but they're usually just locals wanting shit.
Yeah, I want to. Okay,
What
if
this
it's
thing
gonna
you
be
call Politac?
But yeah, he tells you there's one that's going to be right here tomorrow night.
okay, I'm gonna get more people. I'm gonna try and incite more people to protest this fitness
Okay, so
rally.
you're like, how you spin it? Like, this guy's dangerous. We need to protest it. Like, how are you trying to convince them to go protest the rally?
Let's see.
A couple of them were like, I was just gonna go hear what he had to say.
Man, I'm drawing a blank right now.
Anybody else have any ideas?
I mean, I have no intention of inciting a
Yeah,
riot.
that's not my motivation.
It's not a riot. It's a protest.
Okay.
I want a more.
thought
I'm playing on a more stealthy approach.
This comes from the guy that says we're not going to do anything to adjust these elections. We're just
Yeah, no.
find out.
Listen, a protest has no actual influence on an election.
It's against my personal interest to incite anything right now.
I guess you guys
That's
are right.
fair.
I'm just like I said, this kind of thing
Seems like too much energy.
isn't allowed in Cheliax. I'm just kind of like thinking about what it'd be like to participate in one. It's kind of
you're more than welcome to do whatever you want to do. Like, don't not do it because of us.
No, it's okay. I think I'm catching myself on these fanciful, like wild ideas. It's kind of like it's the devil in me that kind of wants to upset things.
Yeah.
Like this Politac stuff.
I mean, devils are all about politics. They know how to politic real good.
That they do.
All right. Well, once I've got the information I want, I'll leave them alone.
But we have politics.
Okay. So you guys head back to the second, the next best tower, rather.
Yeah.
Yes, we sleep and then figure out what we're gonna do with the rally tomorrow.
We're gonna gather information.
Yes.
Yep. Well, you guys have a day ahead of you too, because that rally's in the evening.
Yeah.
You guys have a whole day. You can figure out stuff to do too.
Well, we'll see what Gonkul wants to do or whoever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can go the next day in that case. Then on that morning.
Okay.
And yeah, Gonkul says uh, he talked to a contact that he has, someone that he has talked with before from his old adventuring days, uh, who has lives down here, and was asking about like what's going on with the local situation, and basically he says like, well, a lot of what he says matches up with what we've been hearing, and I think that out of the two, Finhas is the most likely to have had any sort of connection to Pedriarch. Um, Probably, if anything, Pedriarch might have um, financed his campaign because
Ugh.
it seems like he. It doesn't seem like any of his wealth is likely to have been made on his own, but I'm not sure how he would have ended up coming to have been financed by him. Like, how direct is his contact if indeed he is being financed? Surely Pedriarch didn't just fly down to him and give him money directly, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
We could be in.
Maybe
It could be very dangerous depending on how big the group, I guess, that being led by Pedriarch is.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
maybe maybe that's how people said that they aren't. He has businesses, but they said that it's not. They don't think it's his. Maybe all of his backers are giving him their businesses to make him like prop him up to be more than what he is.
That's yeah. I mean, that's what it seems like the impression is, but it's my friend wasn't really able. He said he didn't really have any clear understanding of where exactly it came from. Like, it didn't seem like there were any specific locals that were
Mm-hmm.
like wealthy locals. If any were in fact local, they were very discreet about it.
Okay.
I'm thinking that I'd like to try to see if I can talk with him somehow, um, but yes, it'd probably be. I'm not sure how to approach doing it yet. What about you? How was that rally?
It was kind of boring.
What was your impression of Enku?
They seemed like your standard politician,
Hmm.
except without the whole, like, infernal pact.
Yeah, I suppose that's we'd be more used to in Cheliax.
Yeah. I mean, if a devil isn't backing you, then how are you even in politics?
Mhm.
Yeah, and I don't think very many of them here are backed by devils. But on the other hand, I have heard rumors of that some of within inner circles of Azir do deal with the devils and angels and other outsiders, not deities, but lower on the totem
Well,
pole.
yeah, there's no refuting the whatchamacallit, the word of creatures who very much meddle in, you know, the affairs of the material plane.
Indeed. Right. Well, that's my plan for the day. I'm going to see if I can talk to, if not talk to Finis directly in some way, perhaps by posing as a potential investor into his campaign. I'd like to see if I can perhaps find anybody local that is themselves an investor.
Well, I wish I said we could help you, although I'm not sure how we could help you with that. I don't have very many skills in espionage and subterfuge.
All right. Laszlo says, he's like, I think I have a plan that might be able to work. We
Oh,
could
okay.
use occult rituals to perhaps communicate with Finhas through the dream realm.
All right, that sounds good.
But
Aw.
it's something that we won't be able to do until tonight when he himself
Oh.
would be sleeping as well.
I'm all for that.
All right. Well, if you're all for it, we'll do that next session.
All right.
But before that, you have a whole day ahead of you. So, what do you guys like to do for that day?
Prepare for the dream episode.
Sell religious symbols in the market. Oh, wait.
Wow. Wow.
Mm.
People
Is
will
there
buy
any
these
type
Clutches
of
all of his
That might be an
junk.
iffy idea.
Not selling any of my religious symbols.
I imagine there's like a guy in a big trench coat that like walks up to you and he's like, "Hey kid, like, you want to buy some religious symbols?"
black
Like the
market
watch
guy?
guy?
I got a little necklace here. Look at this. See, it's got this sword, a little sun behind it.
It's got this little cross with
Don't
a
tell
guy
anyone.
nailed to it.
But this is Iomedaean. You might have heard about him. It's all the rage these days. Kids can't stop talking about it.
Yeah. People selling holy water.
Maybe. I mean, he did. If you guys remember back when you guys were back when you guys first came in here, that was one of the things that the Pure Legion said. They said we don't want to see any of Laszlo's stuff that he brought with him showing
Yeah.
up in what do they call it? The sword pits.
The sword pits is like the underground market.
Right. Yeah, you can kind of
market.
gather from context that that was probably referring to like some sort of
And then the other guy
black
was like,
market.
he shoulders him like, they're not supposed to know about the sword pits.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go to the markets and do whatever I can to help, like with this incoming dream ritual. I'm gonna go get candles and incense and all the
Okay.
other shit that we need.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna intimidate someone while I'm there.
Okay.
Of course.
I need to
For
make sure
fun.
that someone, from Chiliax means business.
Okay. So you're not intimidating for anything specific. You're just trying to make sure that they know not to mess with you.
Yeah, or with tieflings in general.
Okay. Fair enough. It seems like nobody wants to mess with you.
Am I a
Good.
witness to this?
I don't know. You helping buy stuff for the dream ritual for next session?
I'm observing Shazra, and I don't know what I'm gonna take away from it, but I'm observing you.
Do you have the? Yeah, you should have the the performance that makes me better at a skill, right?
Yeah, do you want me to cheer you on while you're in
Yeah,
the
make me
market?
better at intimidating people.
Inspire competence.
Yeah. You can do it. You know you can. You're better than that. I don't know what inspires you, insults or
Whatever your perform method is.
Yeah, and there'd be like a shopping like he's
your inspiration is to never be like me. You're like, oh,
Laszlo says
thank
like
God I'm not like that.
I think I have most of what I need, but there are some things that are more tied to this specific like that are more specific to
Stuff
this
that are tied
region
to
that I don't
Finnish.
have, and perhaps things that are more tied to him. But yeah, he does give you like a little bit of a shopping list of like things like if we don't strictly need them, but
I
anything
want
that
to
we
see if
can.
anybody has like stuff to sell that like like maybe they have like a pin that they got from Finnis, or maybe they
Mhm.
have like I don't know, like some freak stole like a lock of their hair or something,
Sure.
or just took a piece of their clothing. I'm gonna haggle for it.
Right, that'd be maybe one of the things, like, if you can he's got, like, a shopping list, but he's also got some other stuff, so, like, if you can manage to it sounds like you guys are going to that rally as well, maybe you can get it
Yeah.
there, but if you can find, like, personal effects of his or something, it's sort of similar to scrying. If you
Oh
can
yeah, I'll
have
try.
personal effects of his, it will make the ritual easier and more likely to be successful.
Yep.
The the more of these things we can find, the more lucid the experience will be. Which is very important when doing dream occult rituals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, you don't find anything like of Finis specifically with that check, but you do find like most of the stuff that was on his list.
Okay.
One of the ones that's hardest to find is he wants like a Desnan symbol, but in the but like one that was sourced locally, which he knows is a big ask.
Oh, we'll have to go to the sword
So
pits
that
for
one
that.
you might have to find the black markets.
All right, we'll go there.
So you try to is that what you're gonna try to do a check to find
Yeah,
that then?
yeah.
Okay.
Let's try it.
How do you try to do it? Are you just gonna try to intimidate someone? Like tell me where it is or I'll beat you up? It is a black market after all.
It is. E-foot. You have a certain way with words, don't you?
I'm sorry, what?
Help me find a Desnan symbol in their sword pits.
You want me to ask? Oh, I
Yeah.
guess. Am I gonna get in trouble for asking?
If you do, I'll protect you.
Oh, okay.
I'll kill them before they kill you.
Did it not roll? Oh, it's asking me if I want a normal roll. Extra steps. I hate them.
Hey, look
Okay.
how charismatic this goblin is.
It's because I have jewelry, and people are like, well, I mean, they're civilized. They're wearing jewelry.
Okay. So someone like they tell you like, yeah, go to this building here and say this passphrase and they'll let you into the back room and
We
there's
can do our illicit
stuff
shopping there.
there's stuff there that the Pure Legion doesn't know about once they are sure that you're not part of the Pure Legion, which I'm pretty sure you're not. You don't look like the type.
Ooh, so secretive. Okay.
So, um, yeah, and they tell you like make sure you say this phrase because they do have like a decoy sword bit that
Okay.
is meant to draw the attention of the Pure Legion.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get there, you'll need to talk to them, and I don't know where the real place is that they sell the actual symbols of gods like Sarenrae and Norgabur, but um, and I'm sure they'll have whatever you're looking for, but um, I don't know exactly where it is, but that's who you need to talk to. And So yeah, basically you get like a chain. You have to talk to like 3 different people,
Yeah.
but you do eventually get to like this like black market within the other black market. Like the first one you get to, it doesn't have actually religious stuff. It just has like it has stuff that's like kind of borderline that like looks like it's kind of like trying too hard to be a black market. Like it looks
Mhm.
like it's just like got
Knockoffs.
yeah, like it's just like edgy, I guess. It's got like stuff that look like they could be maybe be holy symbols, but you're like, this isn't even like a real holy symbol. It's just like it's like stuff that is like a necklace. It's got like a triangle with like a bird on it, but it's not any specific bird. You're like, what? What even is this? Like,
Let's
but
get some Norger burgers at this knockoff market.
Norger Burgers. that's
Yeah.
that's yeah, they got like a food court there, and that's one of the places there, Norger Burger, and
You never heard about us.
yeah, don't worry, it's not human meat. Um, but yeah, you do find like a, Garundi symbol of Desna
All
that
right, we'll buy it.
that should satisfy like what Laszlo was looking for.
All right, we make it ours. We acquire it.
I asked the black whoever we're buying this from, what he thinks of Finis, right?
Oh yeah, he will tell you like I'm hoping that he doesn't win because his policies will definitely make it much harder to import this stuff. But I will say I don't think he'll be able to make it impossible, and it is possible that perhaps um, perhaps he'll just be able to make more money by charging more. I don't know. It's tough side times ahead for sure in that sense if he wins, but I like things how they are. I'm hoping that I think Enku is the more stable candidate here. So yeah, yeah, the guy running the little shop that you guys illicit shop that you just bought the Desmond Holy symbol from. He's for Enku
Yeah.
because he thinks he wants the more stable, like the more he wants the incumbent to win because he likes how things are right now. You know,
So like,
some of my best customers are Iomedeans. And I'm sure that I have a feeling that you know, if Finis wins, that they'll crack down um, on the Iomedeans, and I'll have less customers.
Hmm.
And he says that between and you know, I'll uh, I'll tell them that you're just saying this to try to get out of trouble yourself if you tell anyone. But I'm an Iomedean myself.
Oh no, that's fine. We're not. We're unconcerned with that. Your secret is safe with us.
As is yours. Your secret is safe with mine, with me.
All right.
hold on. Mm.
Does anybody else do anything during the day?
No, me and Aoife were productive. Like I give her a high five.
Good job.
Yay.
Of
Give her a
course,
high.
she can't reach my high five.
It's a
It's
high
too
five for
high.
her, and it's a
Sure.
low high, and it's you go down low.
Mouse is pondering. He's how I see it is if this I can never remember names. Finners?
Finis, yeah.
Finis is supported by Patriarch. It doesn't seem like the populace really likes him. And to me, it almost feels like it might be a bluff that this guy's like Patriarch might be setting this guy up.
What if we go to
As
the
like,
rally and there's no actual people there?
yeah, but
Maybe.
what I'm saying, what I'm saying is like he's setting this guy up to make the incumbent look even better, and then might use her as like basically to make it like a for sure thing that she's like loved by the people,
The
and
true
then
Yeah.
and then
It's an
have
interesting idea. Veering slightly into real life politics, did actually during this midterm election, the Democratic Party actually like funded some of the extreme Republican candidates for like exactly that
Mhm.
sort of reason because they're like during the primaries at least because they're like yeah
Yeah.
our moderate Republicans can beat the extreme like Trump wing of the Republican Party, and it actually
Mhm.
the one I think in all the ones that they did that in, they actually did win the election in the general election. So
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Trump is totally losing favor with Republicans in House right
Oh
now.
yeah.
yeah, and I mean,
It's because they're
you know,
scared he's
I'm
in
not saying that
relative party
specifically.
if he
He's just
loses.
too radical, and I don't know.
Not saying that that's specifically here, but I mean a little bit of this is I'm the GM here, so a lot of what I'm designing in the story
Mhm.
probably is mirrored off of stuff that I see in real life, whether I intend to or not. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
experience. Yeah. Well,
Where does the Mariners losing in the playoffs come in?
right.
is there a
Did
Mariners
we?
equivalent in this fantasy world that we can
Um.
laugh at?
Yeah, probably. Hey, the
Did
Mariners losing in the playoffs is a huge step
It's
up.
like winning the World Series.
Yeah, it's like winning the World Series for us for Mariners fans. Like it was great.
did we
We didn't even lose in the
establish
first round.
um if Finis has like he wants to make a militant city, but like does he have a military behind him at
Well,
all?
there's the Pure Legion, right? Like so.
Right, but like before he
You'd
takes
tie up.
office, does he have anything like he can't like suddenly go all AWOL on the town with a military, right? Like he doesn't have, or does he have a secret military or a military he brought from somewhere else?
I mean, you haven't heard anything about that,
If they
but
did,
Oh,
they'll surely be at the rally. I'm curious to find
so he
who his
poses no
supporters are
real
too.
threat. So still, what is Pedriarch's gain here if he knows the guy can't win or
I don't
probably
know.
won't win?
Do we know that this dragon is insane?
I mean,
Mad
he's a
dragon?
magma dragon, and I don't know if you guys. Let's see. Did anybody like roll Arcana in this campaign about it? I'm not
No.
sure. I'm not sure if this party knows that, but I know like before we established that generally speaking, magma dragons are known to be pretty insane.
Mhm.
I guess Billy has
I
good
might know
knowledge.
a little bit.
Like he
Yeah.
might know that most magma dragons are known to be like very erratic and viewed by most.
But did anyone tell me that it's a
insane.
magma dragon? I saw him in the vision. Okay.
Yeah, you guys do know it's a magma dragon.
But do
I'm just
the
saying because I
dragons
didn't see
usually
him
have
flying over the
intent
island.
behind their erraticness, or is it just completely like off
Well,
No, I'm sure
the
they have.
wall?
you know that magma dragons will tell you that everything they do is for a reason. It's
Of
just
course.
to other people it looks like it's like complete nonsense a lot of times. But I mean, you know that his goal of killing all the gods doesn't sound particularly sane either, so
Yeah, it's a fever dream. It'll never happen. You might kill all the gods except for Asmodeus.
Did we determine how much support Finis actually has?
It doesn't sound like very much.
All right,
uh
that's what I would have wanted to spend my day doing.
okay. Go ahead
Taking a
and
poll.
you can roll like
A poll.
a gather information check then.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a really good roll. So yeah, you realize after kind of asking around a little bit and maybe venturing a little bit further, where you guys are at, like the places closest to the harbor, it's definitely like Enku's definitely easily the favorite. But when you get to a lot of the more like places away from the harbor, like more of the poorer areas of town, for example, and like further away, you realize that actually like Venice actually has a lot more popularity in like
How
other parts of towns.
how big is this city relatively?
Um, it has a
Like we
population of almost 24,000 actually. So it's not I mean it's pretty good size, but yeah, it's not like a metropolis or anything.
okay.
Like our town.
Yeah, it's listed as
That.
being a large city in terms of
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it's small.
So it's like Rolla.
Pathfinder terminology,
Okay.
but
Mhm.
but yeah, so you see yeah, people that are you see especially like people that are in the poorer, more rundown parts of town seem to be really popular. He seems to be much more popular. And from
Mhm.
what you gather, a lot of people are like it sounds like for a lot of the people there, they're like saying, well, like this isn't working because these are people that are like, you know, they're struggling and they think, oh well, anyone's better than who's currently in charge.
Mhm.
It's always the pores.
Okay. So I I would also want to know if those people are like being I guess you kind of did say it. They're being influenced by anything's better than what's currently happening versus a campaign being run of vote for this guy, I guess.
I mean, you see some of that too. Like you see that there are like, signs up. Um
Yeah.
you see that like yeah, there's people even like going around like door to door canvassing for him.
So
Um
you said Finnis is a like a businessman not from here, right?
um
Or is he from here?
he supposedly is from here, but like depending on who you talk to, some people have been saying like I don't think he's even actually from here. Like
Okay.
but it's hard to tell. Like it seems like from what you're hearing that um he's like relatively recently moved here from Azir,
Okay.
like in the last few years. Like maybe he's only been here for about 5 or 6 years at most. But like it's unclear. Like when you ask like what sort of business does he do, and someone's like, well, he works at the business factory doing business.
Oh god.
um
Wow, that
No
really is a
I'm
business
a,
being
place.
protected. He did
d- does
he did a business
himself
last
as
night.
does he portray himself as like a rich man above all, or is he like try and relate to the people
Or both.
or both?
Yeah. It seems like it when you talk it depends on like where you're talking to people about it. You get like a mixed message on that. Like when you're talking to people that are like closer to the harbor and like where more money is, yeah, you get a little bit sense of like he's trying at least to send like both messages. So like some of the people that support him over there will be like, "Oh yeah, he's successful." But
Has anyone
yeah,
actually even seen this Finnis? Do you know if he's a real person?
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
People say they've seen him. He said he'll be at the. He's done rallies. He's doing one tonight.
What does he look like?
He looks like, uh, he's
He looks like a man.
he
Is
looks like
that
a
what you were
man
gonna
in his
say?
his late 30s.
See? How do you
He's
know he's not 3 kobolds in a suit?
no, that's
Oh.
impossible. Three kobolds just standing
You
all
know
on
who
top
would
of each
worship a
other.
dragon? 3 kobolds.
Whenever he's speaking, he waves his arm around, but his arm looks suspiciously like a prosthetic. It might
Um
even just be a broom.
Hey, I
okay.
take offense to that. Says the guy with the
With an
prosthetic.
actual prosthetic arm. Yeah, but this guy's doesn't look as convincing. It looks like it might just be a broom that
Yeah.
sticks out of his trench coat that he waves around.
There was a great Johnny Bravo episode where he was trying to describe
Jesus.
this guy to Pops, and he could only describe him as the 2-armed man.
Yeah, that maybe somebody does that. They're like, "Yeah, he's got two arms." No, you hear that he's got like that he's got like his hair's like starting to gray a little bit. But he's like this kind of clean shaven Osiriani man.
Okay.
Would anyone be able to like identify his area of residence?
Yes, actually. You rolled really high, so somebody would say that he's got an estate on the south side of town.
Are we gonna go break into his residence?
I
Thought
think
about it.
that's yeah, possibly.
Not a bad idea.
I
I might
mean,
support that.
I
And
don't know. This guy's very ominous.
you do hear as
That's
well
all the
that
more
a
reason.
lot of the as you might expect, a lot of the pure legion, like anybody who is part of the pure legion, tend to support him as well, because he promises to like increase funding and recruit more people into the pure legion, and for all his crackdown, they're like, yeah, help us do our job.
Mm-hmm.
why don't we just kidnap him and ask him where the dragon is?
We could.
I don't
Except he
care
might
about
not even,
all these politics. This place
except
is kind of
he might
boring.
not even know that he's working for the dragon. We haven't determined if he's directly connected to the dragon or if he's someone else's
Well, I guess we can find
underling.
out after we kidnap him, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like, I mean, maybe that's you guys. It sounds like you guys are going to do this ritual thing, or at least some of you are on board with doing that. That
Oh yeah, for
Aslan
Mhm.
sure.
wants to do. So I'll
I wanted to
prepare.
do
Yeah.
the
That'll be
ritual.
something I'll
Whatever
prepare
works.
for next session.
Rituals have always worked for us in the past.
Oh,
So
Mhm.
far,
totally.
they have been pretty good. I mean,
Exactly.
you guys only done like 2 of them, but
Well, we have
Well,
an actual occultist with us doing them.
mhm.
Oh.
Yep.
His actual class is alchemist, if you can believe it.
Really,
Oh.
hmm
not occultist.
No, he's a what's it called? Antiquarian, I think is the name of the archetype that he is.
he's not a
Oh.
ritualist.
So it's actually like a alchemist archetype that gives him arcane spellcasting,
Oh, weird.
but it uses, instead of having a spell book, he has trinkets that he uses to like prepare his spells in the morning. So he
Hmm.
basically does occult rituals to like prepare his spells. At least that's how I'm flavoring that particular. But I think that's not too far off from how the flavoring of that archetype is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then of course he has a bunch of skill ranks because it's an alchemist archetype. So he has a bunch of knowledges that he uses for doing the occult rituals.
Okay.
It's actually a archetype that I've like thought about playing as a player, but just haven't had a chance to.
Yep.
So
When you
instead, I
find
made it
something you
as an
want to play,
NPC.
just make an NPC.
Yep. So okay, well we're getting close to 3 hours, so I think we're gonna wrap it up. I know there wasn't like any combat at all this session, but there'll be
That's
some
okay.
next
That's
session probably.
okay.
So
We'll
I
make
had fun.
combat later,
We'll have plenty of combat at the rally next session.
I had fun.
or in dreams. I'm sure.
I especially had fun getting to role play the first guy Efoot talked
Oh
to.
God,
Yeah.
The unnamed citizen
Oh yeah.
that was
who was
very
That
chatty.
seemed about as informed as most citizens.
he's very politically involved with the campaign for
We'll just
for
name
Andrew.
him John Q. Public.
Now we gotta kill the candidate and frame that guy.
What, Finis, and then be like, it was that guy.
True.
It was that guy we
Wait.
talked to in the
He has
Harbor
motive.
district.
Now, guys, we're not trying to influence the election, although influencing the election does sound very fun. But we shouldn't.
I mean, you can influence it all you want. I just
That
don't
wouldn't
want
be
to
influencing the
waste time on
Don't
stuff.
threaten me with a good time.
That would be ruining someone's life.
It'll be
not
a good
influencing
time
an
for you,
election.
but not for me.
Look, you can ruin someone's life and influence an election at the same time.
Yeah.
True.
You can, but I don't think that specifically is influencing the
And
election.
nothing
Just removing
here.
one of the candidates. That's
Yeah,
all.
and nothing here benefits Asmodeus, so I'm pretty sure he wouldn't mind if we ruin everything.
Okay, I'm going to ask the question that Zedurium wants to ask. Did we get experience for the political campaign?
Oh,
Oh yeah, good question. I think
I thought we were
Oh,
supposed to
it
get
was
XP
more
from
like,
last
did we
session
get
this session.
loot?
yeah.
Is there any loot?
So
Is there any loot?
That's true. That's more my question.
yeah, I forgot to do it. I was gonna get a plugin that would let me give experience
Grant
without
XP without
starting
a
an
combat.
encounter, but instead I'm just gonna do the janky thing and just tell you to add 2,000 experience
So
directly,
we level up.
Alright.
which should be enough to level you up, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Some of
Level
that was carryover from
4.
last session as well, because I think there was a few hundred experience each that I wasn't able to award out.
What is
So
the hit die on my character? I don't
I
know.
think it's a D6 for psychic, but
It probably is, but
I let Hero Lab tell me.
yeah.
So we did level up for sure?
Yes.
I believe so. What is that? What experience you guys
Yeah,
have?
we
that
do.
puts us like 800 over or something.
Okay, so yeah, there you go.
855 over.
It is a D6.
Oh, we got a level now, huh?
Yep, I'll leave the game running for anybody who wants to
I'll
do
do it later.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'll do it next session.
Everybody gets a ability point this level.
Oh,
I forgot how to
no.
level
Yeah,
up. Do I edit or do I hit the
No, click the level up button.
plus?
Once you increase your
I'm
XP.
getting a red air though.
Okay, so yeah, you
Oh, I have
change
to
your
increase the
XP first,
Gotcha.
and then once you do, there should be a level up button on your class.
There
No,
it
I
is,
clicked
okay.
it and it did nothing.
Level up report.
The level up button did nothing for you.
Yeah.
It pops a pop up on your
So
on your main page.
We're at 9,000.
Oh, on your main page.
now?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I didn't see it because I had the
9,855.
window open.
Pluto, if you want to
I'll
check
do it
out
later.
that kinesis stuff, I might take that this level. We'll see though.
Okay.
Just let me know, and then if not, I'll figure out something.
Let's see. It might be on the SRD. It definitely won't be in Archives of Nethes, but
Do I want a 3rd-point skill in Forest? No.
otherwise, if you do, well, let's see. If it's not in the SRD and you end up buying the book, you'll have to like send me
Manually.
at least send me the
Yeah.
parts that you want to use, and I'll look over them. But yeah, like I said, I'm generally all for it. For third party stuff, like I'm usually not
Yeah.
against it. So especially if it
As long
like,
as it's
fits.
within reason.
Right,
Yeah.
and if it fits
Yeah,
what you
it's
want to
not
play,
broken.
like the thing
Yeah.
is, a lot of stuff in Pathfinder, like first party stuff, is kind of busted anyway. So there's
Yeah.
definitely a lot of third party stuff that's even more
Well,
busted.
that's why
But a
they had
lot
to
of
fix Summoner.
yeah, exactly. But a lot of the thing is, a lot of third party stuff's actually the opposite of busted. It's terrible. So
Yeah.
a lot of it is. So yeah,
It's weaker. Yeah.
most of the time I'm actually like, it's like, yeah, sure, if you want to.
It's because they try to make it to where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you can play that. Because
Well, I mean, that's
they
the
want to make
way
sure
to
it follows.
lean, because
Yeah.
more people, like most GMs that's like the number one thing that keeps
Oh, I have
GMs
counter
sometimes from
song
letting people do
now.
third parties. They're worried about stuff being overpowered. So if you just make it all, if you're
Mhm.
careful and just make it all like weaker than normal, then yeah, that's the easiest way to have it be broadly allowed. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean that's the thing too. Going forward for Pathfinder First Edition, that's the only way we get new content, because Paizo's moved on to Second Edition. So
hmm
the only way we get new content is if third-party publishers make new content for Pathfinder. So
There's
Yeah.
also a shitload of 1 edition content, though.
there is, yeah. So I mean, we're not really likely to run out anytime soon. Like, there's so many classes that I've never played, and like, I think we played, like, collectively between all of us. I think we played a lot of the APs, but I don't even think we played half of them.
Yeah. Yep.
So And you can
plus
always
all the one shot APs or the
sure,
like
and you can
Emerald
convert.
Tower and stuff like that, where it's
Yeah.
like one dungeon.
Oh, the Emerald Spire, yeah, and you can
Emerald
convert
Spire,
stuff
yeah.
from 3rd edition as well.
Yeah.
I know, like, Derek's run Sunless Citadel a few times, I think, which is a 3rd edition module.
Yep.
So, actually, I've thought about
I
running
still
that too.
have that module too.
Yeah, and you have, like, the old 3.0 version of it, but still,
Yeah, that one and the Forge of Fury.
But I don't think the 3.0 and the 3.5 versions of Sunless Citadel are probably too different. Like, they probably both. I can't imagine there's a huge difference between them. Like, most of the math stayed the same. Most of the changes were like things like they changed some of the proficiencies. Like in 3.0, bards had arcane spell failure. That was kind of rough. But in 3.5, they changed it so you could wear light armor at least and still cast spells without penalty. And Pathfinder is how it is too, but that came from 3.5.
All right. Well, I will talk to you guys next time.
Okay. Yep. Next game will be
All right.
a week after Thanksgiving. It'll be on the. It looks like it should go on the 1st of December. So.
So, Pluto.
What's up?
I realized that the archetype I had applied on my sheet didn't have anything like Bab and saves. Yep.
Huh. So you have to manually put them in then.
So I edited the thing to have it.
Okay.
Which is actually quite easy. It's like, is your fortitude save good or bad? Is your reflex good or bad? Progression.
Yeah.
And then it just auto puts it all in. So the numbers have been wrong up till now.
Were your saves and base attack bonus lower than they should have been, basically?
Yes, it was all hurting me. And also I didn't have any skill ranks from class.
Oh, so it was only giving you intelligence bonus?
Yes, but I have such a high intelligence I didn't notice because I have 20 int.
Okay, well,
So
that's
All right. See ya.
it's a nice level up for you then.
So yeah, I have a lot more skill ranks than I have. I mean, Bab doesn't really matter for what I've been doing, but my saves are higher than they have been.
How many skill ranks per level do psychics get? Is it
It's
2 or
2 plus
4?
int.
Okay.
So same as Wizard.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. Most int-based casters are that way, but I think Magus
Just for
is...
balance, yeah.
Actually, I can't remember. Is Magus 2 or 4?
But yeah, everything looks right now. I'm hovering and
Might be 4, but
it's all looking good.
no, Magus is 2 as well. I guess that's fair. They are an int-based caster technically too, but pretty much I think the only int-based caster that gets 4 plus that I can think of off the top of my head is Eldritch Scion Rogue. Like they get 4. Which is less than a normal
Weird.
rogue gets. They get their skill ranks per level nerfed as part of the archetype. It's part of why a lot of people are like, it's not a good archetype. You give up too much for the spell casting.
Anyways, what else do I get? I get a discipline spell.
Oh, so
And I get second level spells.
Also, I think I know what class I'm gonna play for Curse of the Crimson Throne.
Oh yeah?
I think I'm gonna play a Bolt Ace crossbowman.
Oh, okay. That sounds interesting.
It's basically a gunslinger with a crossbow instead of a gun.
While we're in the city, Efoot's gonna randomly learn a spell from somebody in the city. A witch or a wizard or something. No, my level 2 spell.
Okay, gotcha.
It's just not anything we've seen yet, and that's kind of how bards learn, is from like observation. So she's gonna observe something weird and think it's really cool. I'm gonna bring a spell called Puzzle Box. It seems really cool. I've never seen it before, but I'm like, ooh, I like it.
I've never heard of it, but...
Oh, can I share it? How do I share it?
I just typed it into the SRD. I'm looking at it now.
Oh, yeah, you can do that, yeah.
Otherwise, you could send me a link, I guess. Let's see here.
Well, in the game, like...
Oh, I learned Silence. That's a good spell.
Oh, I think there's a way to do it because I've seen people. I'm not 100% sure how to do it though, but like
Whenever I
when you cast,
cast a spell, it puts it
usually when
there.
you cast
Maybe if
stuff, it
it's
puts it in
on
there.
like.
Like if you
Why-
look up and look
what
where
am I
like Billy
doing?
could use Cure Light Wounds on the chat log, it has you can like click on Cure Light Wounds and it expands out and has a
I'll
whole
just
description
use
of the.
spell. Yeah. Oh, there's insufficient charge. Oh, god damn it. Oh, it thinks it's a 3rd level spell. Nope, it's not for a bard, but yeah.
Cast
I
on a
have to
creature,
edit
they
it.
lose all weapons and shield proficiencies. They forget how to use spell completion, spell trigger, and use activating items, as well as any mundane items used as part of a skill check, posing a -5 penalty on all ability checks attempted at such items. Lasts for 1 round per level.
Spells per level. Surely there's a table here.
Otherwise, you can put it on an object
we go.
instead.
Why?
But yeah, if there's like a 2-weapon wielder, like
And when
that's
cast on an
pretty good.
object, the duration of the spell is permanent. That's
Oh,
pretty
shit.
funny.
Oh, bonus spells per day for high int score. That's how that works.
So they just pick up like they just like they'll hold their sword and be like, "This sword is puzzling. How do you
I
use
can't
this
use it
crazy-
normally. Yeah.
How do you drive this crazy thing?"
They're just no longer proficient with it. Which, good thing you have Hero Lab, huh? Because then you could just turn that shit off and be like, okay, done.
I wonder if Hero
Spells
Lab
per
or
day,
Puzzle Box is
3.
a spell adjustment in Hero Lab. I bet it is.
What book was it from? Because I've never seen it before.
Inner Sea Monster Codex, so it is first party.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an obscure source book. Obscure Paizo source book.
2015. It's been around for a while.
Boy. Pluto, I have to pick one level 2 spell to learn. And I can cast it a lot. I mean,
So
4 times.
Yeah, so you generally probably want to pick something.
Oh, it's a
that's
curse,
Yeah.
so you could probably lift the curse on
Yeah, remove
items.
curse. Remove
Yeah.
curse would remove it. You'd have to make a cast roll to check, but yeah, it's
I could cast Alter Self to make myself look like a humanoid.
actually I don't know if that would work because strictly speaking, you being a rabbit is being under the effect of a different. Like usually you can't
Oh,
be
you
like a
can't
different
apply a
polymorph
polymorph
effect.
on a
You
polymorph.
Yeah.
already have a polymorph effect on
That's
you.
right. Dang it.
So I don't think that would work actually.
Not that I wanted to do that anyway.
You could potentially kick yourself out of that polymorph.
It'd
though,
be like when
by
Tobias
doing a better
because
polymorph.
in book 8 of Animorphs gets his morphine powers back, and then he can turn back into himself, his human form. But his
Oh
his
no,
hawk form is his now new default form.
Pluto.
Man,
Do you know what's a 2nd level spell for psychic?
Matt already left. He's the other one that'll nerd out with me about Animorphs.
I will not. I don't know.
Yeah. Do I know a good level 2 spell for psychics?
I know what you're talking about. Don't worry.
There's a spell, Pluto, called blindness deafness.
I've heard of this spell.
Oh, how original.
What a novel idea.
Yeah, I saw glitter dust and I just kept scrolling by it because it's
I'm
like
trying
it's
not
one of
to.
those
I'm
things
trying to find
we
something else.
always
Yeah,
always bring.
Zerdurium's doing the same thing with blindness deafness. It's his
Yeah.
version of glitter dust.
It's so good, and it's so funny because it's permanent.
Yeah. So
That's why Puzzle
yeah,
Box is great because it's also permanent. She can just go around and be like, I'm turning all these items into confusing puzzles.
Well, 4 times a day. 4 times a day. No.
Yeah, that's a lot though. Like you could
That
you
is
could
a lot.
cause some real havoc somewhere if you wanted to.
4 times 356. You know, it's
Yeah.
and then I'll level up and I'll do it more. Yeah. So yeah, I probably just like run into some like random sketchy witch who's like, "Oh, this goblin looks neat," and I'm all curious, and then they show me a trick, and then I'm like, "How?"
Witches actually might be like more popular in Rahadum than other places actually, because they're
It's
one of the few.
non-religious. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're one of the few sources of non-religious based magical healing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It's
same
weird.
with
This is like a
bards.
third level
Excellent,
spell
but
for a witch and a sork, and it's a second level spell for a bard.
no, that's pretty normal. Bards only have 6 levels of spells anyway, so like,
That's true.
um, a lot of the time they'll get spells at lower levels than other classes. But then the thing is, you know, I mean, you're getting it 1 level earlier than a witch technically, but only 1 level earlier. Like they get it at level 5 because that's when they get their level 3 spells. That was also the logic behind the summoner spell list, the original summoner spell list that was broken. Like they gave them haste as a level 2 spell, and that was the logic behind it. It's like, well,
Oh.
they get it later, and it's like, yeah, but like they they get their level 2 spells 1 level earlier than a wizard gets theirs, and 2 levels earlier than a sorcerer. And it wasn't like just haste. That's just like one of the things that was kind of busted about it. So when the Unchained
Hmm.
Summoner gets haste as a level 3 spell, like a normal person would. And they also changed the way the Eidolon functions because the original Summoner's Eidolon was easier to break. Although I think they did some stuff for the Unchained one to make it like easier to flavor your Eidolon a certain way, like more straightforward at least. So I don't know, but mostly Unchained Summoner is just a nerf.
Okay, Pluto, I found a spell that I don't know. Seems like it could be good, but it may be too situational. It's called Mental Block. Have you heard of this?
Yep.
The name sounds familiar, but I don't remember what it does.
I
Target
used
loses
it
all skill rank,
on.
spells known, spells prepared, and activated feats, as well as extraordinary, supernatural, and spell-like abilities. And every round I can attempt a will save to end the effect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that seems kind of cool. You can just be like, whatever your special thing is, no,
Shut
you
'em down,
just
yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah.
That
It's
sounds
kind of
like it
what.
seems good.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So
It
I'm probably gonna go with that.
it technically turns off power attack, for example, which is an
Yeah.
activated feat.
Oh, you know what would be fun? Is with this puzzle box spell, if we run into an alchemist with a third arm, I could disable 3 items he's holding.
Okay. So I get silence from my discipline, and I have that, so I'm purely like just shut down right now, which is good. I like that.
How does like puzzle box interact with your own items? Like, does it affect yourself?
And no, it's a target item. So, well, if I target the person, it affects everything
Right, no, I
they
get
are
that. I'm just
holding.
wondering, like, could you put it
Uh,
on your own stuff to like protect it, I guess, from other people stealing it, for example, and being able to use it? But I guess yeah, it looks like it does. So if you put it on like your own weapon or something, if you picked it up, then it would be very puzzling to you, you know?
you just gotta be
Oh, and
smarter
I get a
than the
druid
puzzle.
spell. Pluto, I get a druid spell. Let's go. This archetype is sick. Every time I get a new spell level, I get to add the spell to the psychic spell list and to my list of spells known.
Yeah, it's like the
Ooh.
psychic version of what was his name? Machias that I played that died in Mummy's Mask at the beginning.
Mhm.
He was using a similar archetype
Was
for
he? Okay, I
Arcanist.
don't remember.
Yeah, he was the one that took we were gonna do the teamwork feat thing with Wizpops.
Oh,
We ended up
yeah, that's
retraining it
right.
because he died and you couldn't
Yeah,
use
that
the
was
teamwork feat
sad.
anymore.
Wait,
We
wait,
got to
wait.
use it like once or twice.
Pluto, I have
Yeah.
a question.
Sure.
If I cast this spell on Shazra's sword, will Shazra be a puzzle to the sword?
Would Shazra be a puzzle to the
Yeah,
sword?
is the
instead of
sword
other way
wielding
around?
Shazra?
Not strictly speaking, but
I mean, they're holding hands, right? Technically, that's what the hilt is.
yeah, I think if you cast it on there, though, the sword would be a puzzle to
Yeah, but the sword
Shazra.
has a personality. It has a will save, so it wouldn't.
Exactly. Yeah,
It's
it
not an
would. It would.
object. Yeah.
Well, it is an object, I think, but it has its own will save. I want to say.
Intelligent items are treated as if they were
Oh, as if they were a person.
individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess yeah, it would. It would last. It would get the round duration instead of being permanent, huh? I guess that's true. And then magic items in general get a will save, I think. Um, or they use their wielder's will save if it's higher, which it
Whichever's
usually
highest. Yeah.
is. Yeah, usually it is, unless it's like an unattended magic item. I can't remember how you calculate. There's like a specific way to calculate which I probably should look into to calculate what the saves for an unattended magic item are, and it's based off
Mm.
the caster level. I think so. Like a +1 weapon, and +1 weapon's up 3, caster level 3. It goes up by caster level increments of 3. God, item stuff's like a lot of that item stuff is like so like numbery and like you don't normally ever know it. So it's like one of those the same thing with like you try to sunder something, you're like, okay, gotta pull up the chart out of
Uh,
the depths of the internet to
yeah.
figure out what the hardness and hit points of this weapon is. Like
Reign of Winter has like a lot of item breaking stuff, so I actually kind of started learning
yeah,
that stuff.
there's patterns to it. So like when you use it a lot, it becomes easier, but it's just like
Yeah.
it usually doesn't come up. So it's like if you haven't done it recently, it's like, oh shit, all right, give me a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like if you know that if you're gonna put your players in these scenarios, like you could have these numbers ready.
Right. Same
Um,
thing if you know your
but yeah.
players are gonna do it to you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they should warn you so you can be ready. But or if
Yeah.
you were the player doing it, you probably should know where the reference for that is so you can like point the GM to it easily. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's one of those things too though. Players usually don't like to do that because it sucks to destroy your own loot. So like most players do not like using sundering.
Well,
True.
it's kind of sad that this is the truth of it all, but we don't actually do this. But like, whenever players get hit by like AoEs and breath weapons, their weapons and gear also take
Only if they
damage.
roll a 1 though. If they roll a 1 on
Uh,
the reflex save, then each of their items has to make a reflex save. But if they otherwise if they fail, it's fine.
yeah.
But yeah, that's a rule that most people ignore.
Yeah,
That's
I
a dumb
just
rule. I
'Cause,
agree.
like
well, I mean, it makes sense, but yeah.
yeah, but there's already like so many like finicky little details in Pathfinder that it's like I don't want to add on rolling for like 12 magic items and
I mean,
whatnot.
isn't that why we play Pathfinder though? Is for the rules of it all?
I mean, yes, but there's limits to that.
There's
So
a limit. I can
yeah,
only take so much.
there's a spot where I say enough is enough. We have gone to the extent that I'm willing to Mathfinder.
I'm just gonna play a naked character. You can't break my shit. I got nothing.
Vow of Poverty monk who takes it to the extreme. I'm not allowed to wear clothes.
By the gods.
I'm the nudist Vow of Poverty monk. Which, by the way, only works for like a couple levels and then until not having magic items makes you horribly crippled in terms of your effectiveness. Unless you are playing with like bonus progression system.
Mhm.
I feel like that would be I feel like almost if they like I feel like if somebody wanted to play a Vow of Poverty monk in one of my games, I would consider just letting them play with bonus progression even if nobody else is. Like just them they get it. And not even it probably wouldn't even be like the advanced one that's actually designed for like having no items in your campaign where you get like the breakpoints 2 levels earlier, like so they'd still be behind, but So it'd still be really bad probably, but I'd probably let him do that just so it's not quite as terrible. Like, oh, eventually you get magic weapons and a free headband, even though you're not actually wearing a headband, and just have it baked into. If you break your vow of poverty, you lose your bonus progression too. It's probably still the correct move to break your vow of poverty, though. And, yeah, I guess I lose some key points, and but at least I can actually use magic items. At least I can wear a cloak of resistance.
Okay.
Pluto, it's so hard to not just take like Flaming Sphere or Aggressive Thundercloud.
Those are cool spells
I mean, they're used in every game.
for good reason, though.
I know.